Let's get sweaty.
Hello and welcome to the Shenmue Dojo Show Season 3, Episode 7. I am Skilljim, and I'm joined, as ever, by Sonic Superstar, Matthew Oliver. How's it going, man?
I like that one. Yeah, good, man. You all right?
I'm doing okay, thank you. Yeah, how are you getting on with Sonic Superstars?
As of recording, I'm on the last zone. I've been distracted by Spider-Man.
So you've not finished it yet?
Nope. No, I got to the last zone, got all the emeralds, and then Spider-Man turned up, and my head's been turned by that. But I will try and finish it off before this airs, hopefully, because I've got a massive backlog to get through. Really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There are some moments in Superstars where, for want of a better expression, you want to pull your hair out. I don't have any, so I can't do that. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it's a good Sonic game. I think there's a really good basis there for future titles, and I quite like the way it's gone and the way it plays, and I think, quite frankly, I like it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it too. I have actually finished it. You're going to have a tough time with the end boss, mate, and I don't even think that's the end boss, because I was like trying to look on YouTube of like people tackling that boss, and I like typed in Sonic Superstars end boss, and it wasn't that boss. So I think there's like maybe an extra ending if you do it as Supersonic, or maybe if you're a different character or something like that.
Yeah,
that
sense.
Dude with the metal tin hat thing, whatever. Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I feel like there's a lot of gimmicks, if I'm being honest, on like every stage. There's always something new that's happening.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit weird. I find like it's not just a regular classic Sonic game. It is a bit out there, I guess. Or I don't know. Do you think the original games were like that at the time, and we just kids? I
don't know. It's hard, isn't it? Because I think with any platformer, and it's the same with like Super Mario Brothers Wonder as well. They've had to not reinvent the formula, but add to it or change something up to make it unique. And I think they've had to do it with Sonic Superstars. When you think of the Emerald powers, the stage gimmicks, I think they've had to try something different. Some of it's worked, some of it hasn't. And I think it's a sort of feeling out process. So assuming it gets a second game, I guess it will do. I'd be surprised if it didn't. I'd then look to see how they consolidate the good things and then sort of develop from there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we'd hope so, but they don't really do sequels anymore, do they, for these games? Like, look at Sonic Mania, it's not going anywhere. All of the 3D Sonic games have been quite unique in their own rights. I know we've had the boost mechanics quite a lot, and we've kind of still got the boost mechanics with Frontiers, but there hasn't been a sequel, really, has there, of a particular named game?
No, which is strange. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, yeah. Yeah, swimming in games, mate. I started Mirage as well. Talking about Spider-Man. I've not even thought about Spider-Man, but I've been playing a little bit of Mirage, Assassin's Creed, if anyone didn't know. So far, so good. I really like that it's gone back to the roots on that one.
I do. I've played about 5 hours of it, and then again got distracted.
Okay.
Got distracted by Sonic and flipping everything else.
It's just mental, isn't it, man? Like, I want to play VR as well, but there's literally no time for that. And I'm obviously working on issue 3 of the magazine as well. So I've got to make all the spare time I've got is... And then you've seen all these games that are releasing at the moment, and I do want to play them. I'm not like as mental as some people seem to be, like, where they have to play every single title. Like, I'm probably quite happy skipping Spider-Man, for example, or Starfield or something like that. I quite like my specific games, like the Sonic titles or whatever, that I have to play, I must make time for. But yeah, and then we've got the Like a Dragon games upcoming as well.
Yeah, which
it's just mental, mate.
This year in gaming's been mental. The amount of good games that have come out so close together. I think you've got the post-COVID rush. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. There's not enough hours in the day to play them all. Simple as that.
Pretty much, mate, yeah. I mean, we can talk about other games, but we have got a Shenmue discussion to get to. So, today we've each picked 2 tracks from each game, Shenmue 1, 2, and 3, but we've tried to steer clear of like cutscene music, because we do tend to go for the big orchestral sort of epic sounding pieces of music. We want to give a little bit of love to some of the still well known, not I was going to say lesser known, but they're still very well known because obviously you're hearing it all the time, but this is like the in-game music. And for the Shenmue 1 piece that I've picked Harbour Light.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to ask you to resign.
Welcome back. That was Harbour Light from Shenmue 1. Right, Matt, let's get into this news. So yeah, it's been a minute since we last did a show, or at least a show that had a news section. So we do have quite a lot of headlines to get through here. So the first one I want to mention is the Italian game show that's happening in Italy. Matt, can you talk a little bit about this? Because Yu Suzuki's in attendance, I hear.
It's random as hell, this is. It's a bit of both. It's like a comic and game convention in Italy. It's called Luca. And talking to Rio X about it, it's basically their version of sort of E3 Gamescom and Tokyo Game Show. So it's quite a big event. I'd never heard of it, quite honestly.
Yeah, me neither.
But yeah, that is what it is. Long story short, is it's happening between the 1st and the 5th of November. Yu Suzuki will be in attendance. We don't know what days as of recording. It does make sense with Air Twister obviously launching a few days after this. But I've thrown a conspiracy theory out there. It's a very random event for Yu Suzuki to attend, having never attended before, and the event's run for quite a long time. So is he there on business as well? Potentially. Who knows? But it's good to see him out and about and promoting his work and all the rest of it. And we'll just, enjoy it. And if anybody's in Italy and wants to cover it for us, give us a shout.
Yeah. Well, I assume in games are going to be there, right?
I would have thought so.
Going to be shown.
I would have thought so, but I don't even know if Air Twister's there.
And where is in games based? If that's even how you pronounce it, I say in.
Germany, I think, is their HQ.
Germany. Okay. So you don't think it's just maybe the closest? But then it could have gone Gamescom, really, couldn't
Well,
they?
I mean, he could have done, couldn't he? But Who I don't know. I don't know. It's very random. Like I said, it's a conspiracy theory. Don't read too much into it or anything like that. It's just my mind running a bit wild.
Well, we don't have too long to wait to see what that's all about.
No.
Talking about Air Twister, obviously, Matt, we did a interview with Yu Suzuki, you know, the big man himself. This is me and yours' first, if that's right phrasing, our first interview with Yu Suzuki, actually.
It is.
Since we've taken on the dojo, which was rather exciting, I thought.
I was, really stoked that we got it. And I should give a shout out to Joel at WiseNet, who's obviously helped facilitate this for us. He's translated the questions and come back to us on everything. He's been a brilliant link with this. But yeah, I was really, really excited for it. And yes, the focus is mainly on Air Twister, but there is some Shenmue in there as well for people who haven't come across it yet. But I think we're both quite proud of it, actually, because it's like I don't want to use the word feather in the cap, but it's almost like a nice seal of approval, actually, that we've had an interview with Yu Suzuki. It's written, and it was the first Air Twister interview for the console releases as well. It was a world first, which just really sort of helps it stand out in my mind, and I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, definitely. And like you say, you know, we've got to always slip a couple of Shenmue questions in there, a little bit of a wink, nod sort of thing here and there, which is always pleasing to see. He hasn't said no, outright no. But yeah, just amazing, mate. And anything someone like that's an idol. Like, I remember when he was unpacking Shenmue World and just seeing him actually holding something that I'd created, and just honestly, mate, you can't put it into words how it makes you feel like that. And being able to, you know, get this interview off the ground.
I think it's a case of good timing, bit of luck, and hopefully somewhere that they don't mind the work that we do. But I don't want to sit and blow our own trumpets too much.
No, it's very promising. It's probably a good word to
definitely
use.
promising. Very promising.
Yeah. Continue on the Air Twister bandwagon, as it were. We have had some amazingly written articles from Flagship, who is obviously a previous Shenmue Dojo staff member, and a great contributor here with these Air Twister articles. Because obviously Flagship was at Gamescom.
He was,
and you know, we managed to hook him up a little bit in terms of being able to get into the in games sort of press area and get a little bit of an interview from Simon Krenkel. And yeah, just some really interesting discussion from Flag and Simon there. And then obviously he also had a little bit of hands-on with the game, which he's written an insane article. You can find both of these articles on shenmuedojo.com. I will also link them both in the description or show notes below for you to read in your own leisure. Like I say, I'm just looking at them now, and they're really well, almost well like together. What are they called? Like a journalist, isn't it? It's almost written like a journalist.
It wouldn't look out of place on a like mainline gaming website, in my opinion. Yeah,
so amazing work there, Flag. If you are listening, thank you very much for them. And I just want to stress that Air Twister is releasing on November the 10th. So please make sure you go and support it, whether you can buy a digital copy, a physical copy. It's literally releasing for all platforms. So there's no excuses, really.
No, and it's only 20 odd quid.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's a budget title in a sense. And if you want to support it, please go ahead, because it's every little helps in terms of WiseNet and Yu Suzuki, and potentially getting a Shenmue 4. I think this is going to contribute towards that, in my honest opinion. So yeah, please go grab a copy. Got all these even collector's editions that are releasing as well. So yeah. Speaking of Flagship, myself, Matt, and a few of the Shenmue Dojo community members, as it were, we all met up at EGX recently. Matt, how did you enjoy EGX this year?
I really enjoyed it. It's my first one for, I want to say, 7 years. The last time I went, it was held at the NEC in Birmingham. That's how long ago it was.
Really? And I missed Birmingham? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it was at Birmingham when I last went. And last year I was in America, in Florida, so I couldn't go. But yeah, this year was really good. We were quite lucky. We got hooked up with press passes, which was great. Which obviously, as part of that, you have to do some bits and pieces around the event, which we've done. We got to play obviously Sonic Superstars, both like Dragon titles, big old retro section there. And it was really cool to meet like some of the Shenmue community. Like when you think, obviously, like Sun on the staff, we'd never met him face to face ever, which was really cool. And he's just as funny in person as he is on our staff chat. And like people like Retro Godfather, who's been in our streams for literally years.
Yeah.
So to meet him was great. Obviously, Paddy, Sheep, Rio X was there. Flagship was there. There was a real good group of us, and it's always good fun, isn't it, when a Shenmue group get together? And it doesn't take long before we start going down conspiracy theory routes or whatnot, does it? And I've done a couple of little write-ups, one sort of hands-on with the games, which is probably the first time I've written any sort of preview review in about 20 years, which it probably shows in the way I've written it, and a sort of a write-up of what we got up to on the day as well. I am working on a video for it. I've just been sidelined with other projects and bits and pieces, but I will hopefully get that done soon.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm underselling yourself. I think the articles you've written there about EGX and our little journey, our trip, what we saw, what we played, how the scheduling went down over there. I think you did a pretty good write up there, and looking forward to seeing your video. I will give a quick shout out to Peter Wilson and Stuart Peacock.
There we go. Yeah, I knew I'd forgotten people.
I know I was going to help you out there, but there's a couple more added to the list there. But literally anyone that I've ever met, like a Shenmue fan, of just so friendly, such a great community. I feel like everyone's
just chill.
Got their head screwed on. They're, easy to get along with, down to earth, aren't they? And I've made some real lifelong friends with these people, and yourself, Matt, of course.
Yeah, it's good. Really enjoyed it, and we are talking about doing another meetup at some point next year. We've got to find a place that will host us that's not going to cost an arm and a leg.
Very true. Right, Matt, so in case you missed this one, because there has been quite a lot of news articles posted on the main Dojo website in recent days and weeks. Yeah, Shenmue made the top 100 in is this the most recent Edge magazine?
It is. So Edge magazine celebrated 30 years this year, which is insane in itself, and they did a top 100 games of the last 30 years. Now, they did it for their 25th as well. And Shenmue didn't make the list, which I found really weird.
That's
but
strange.
There you are. But this time it did make the list. A very respectable number 63. And okay. I think, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's the second highest placing Sega title. Very weird list though, because there's games there that probably should have been that weren't, games in there that were there that really probably shouldn't.
There isn't even a Sonic title in the list, is there? I don't think.
No, which is absolute madness. But there you are.
But at least Shenmue is there, which has to be there, right? I mean, I'm surprised it wasn't 5 years ago.
Yeah, as was I. Which is why I was really surprised it made it in this time around.
Well, it's just aged like fine wine, hasn't it? The last 5 years, It's got even better. So, but yeah, that's that one. It's been a while since the last sort of mainline Shenmue Dojo show. We did that music special, but prior to that we were doing the Kickstarter updates part 1. We're doing part 2 today, but in between all of that, in case you missed this one, we did a Q&A bonus show, Matt.
Yeah, we did, and this is, you might remember this, guys, when I went out and put everywhere I could find, basically asking for your questions around Shenmue Dojo, all those sorts of things, and then we answered actually every question that came in the end, which was really good.
Yeah.
It was a good show to do, actually. We got some very random questions. I think the first one that will stand out in my head is, what would you have from Tom's hot dog stand?
That was James Arena wanted that one.
Yeah, it was. And there were some interesting questions around like I think BCDC Dude mentioned about us, how we put the podcast together. Obviously, there's the inevitable Shenmue 4 questions and things like that. Great show to do. I'd look to do another one at some point next year as well, and make it like a semi-regular thing, but maybe once a year or something like that, just because it's quite a fun thing to do.
Yeah, it's a good idea, and some really good questions actually from the community. So yeah, I'm always down to do something like that again. Going to give a quick mention to Radio Sega, who obviously is our home on Monday nights, or at least every other Monday. You can find our shows or replays of our shows sort of broadcast live on Radio Sega's airwaves at 8 p.m, I believe, is our time slot.
That's right.
And also TerraPlayer, which probably doesn't get enough mentions. It's a great platform to listen to all of these podcasts, all these Sega-related podcasts.
Brilliant.
And beyond, and also obviously the Shenmue Dojo Show you can find on there. Easy to use, straight in there, streaming shows at your fingertips, so get on that. And finally, while we're talking about all these little Radio Sega sort of tie-ins, the Sega Lounge has just celebrated its 200th episode, and it was a fantastic Sega-themed quiz that me and Matt were a part of, and some Shenmue questions in there to boot as well. That was definitely worth a listen.
Good fun.
Casey always puts on a great quiz, and
I
think this is probably one of the biggest quizzes he's done yet. Especially for us.
They're saying congratulations on 200 episodes. That's insane.
Wow, I think he has got like a 9 or 10 year sort of history with the Sega Lounge. Soon stacks up, doesn't it, when you're doing weekly shows?
Yeah,
definitely.
It does.
The next news item, Matt, is a rather exciting one.
Yes.
We have a upcoming fan-produced game from the Kitchen Bros.
We do.
Do you have any details on this?
So
or not?
I have to be careful what I say because I'll get shot if I say too much. Essentially, for anybody who's been around the community for a long time or is new to the community, you need to check George and Joe's work out. They write basically Shenmue-inspired music using the original instruments, plugins, etc. from back in the day. And what they've also done is using Blender, rigging models up and everything else. They've taken sort of game assets out and then set their own little stories and cutscenes and all sorts of wonderful, amazing work that they've done. I can think of a WoW sort of backstory being one of them. Megumi sort of growing up. When you see sort of Goro when he's a lot older, that's really funny to see as well. The work, honestly, their work is insane. It's so good. So this fan game is essentially going to be a playable small fan game for Christmas. It's hopefully going to come out that we can stream it for our Christmas stream. So we'll be going in very blind to this. Like, we haven't played any of it. I've seen some screenshots and that's it. And if it's anything like the quality of their previous work, we're going to be in for an absolute treat. There is going to be a trailer. It's probably even out by the time this podcast comes out. And I can tell you now, I'm hyped for this stuff. Like, the more fan games out there, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And you know, with George and Joe, it's coming from a real sort of place of sort of putting Shenmue at the heart of it, because that they're massive fans. They've written Shenmue-inspired music. They know the stories really, really well. They know the lore really well. This could shape up to be excellent. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah,
as a Shenmue fan, this is exactly what you want, because it's taking, the Shenmue 1 base, the Buita, Yokosuka, very homely feeling, and just give it us more content by the looks of it. It looks very much true to Shenmue 1. What you'd expect to play or find there, with a little bit of a Christmas twist going on there, and obviously they're quite funny guys, so I'm sure there's a lot of comedy elements in there as well, and Easter eggs galore. So definitely check that out, guys. Like Matt says, there should be a trailer out right now, so if this is the first that you've heard of this as you're listening to this, go check out the Dojo main site or the YouTube channel or whatever, and you should find something about this game. I'd have thought a bit of a preview of this upcoming title for Christmas. And speaking of the dojo, of course, the main site, we've actually had a significant upgrade to the servers, the hosting platform that we use. Really, really pleased with how this has come out. Everything feels super snappy, super quick, especially like the media section. I've said this a couple of times, like we've got loads and loads of images on the media section, like going all the way back to the Shenmue's inception, even before that, and just being able to browse all those images as quick as you can now makes the experience so much more enjoyable, I think. Yeah, it's absolutely stellar, actually. Without sort of going into the cost of the previous arrangements, etc., it's I think we've got a real good setup with this, and I'm sure, James, you'll join me in this. Gibby's done an absolute
godsend amount of work on this for us. So thank you so much, because it really has sort of pushed the dojo's back end forward and really given us a properly quick, snappy, professional site.
Definitely, man. And if any Shenmue 4 news is to arise, hopefully it can handle the potential stress and pressure that the site would previously been under, I guess. It might be able to deal with it a little bit better this time around.
Fingers crossed. We'll get the news. We'll find out.
So yeah, massive thanks to Jibby for working hard behind the scenes and getting this up and running flawlessly by the looks of it so far. So yeah, very, very pleasing.
After we recorded this podcast episode, a massive piece of news dropped with a new interview with Yu Suzuki. We didn't want you guys to miss out on this, so we thought we'd drop this in for you and give you guys a little update and taste of what it's all about. Here it is. You may have seen that there has been a new interview with Yu Suzuki from IGN.com. This was conducted by Ezra Krabe, who is a massive, massive Shenmue fan, and you may remember him from being on the interview series not so long ago, and he works for IGN Japan. Big Shenmue fan, does loads of work behind the scenes with the community, and I'm so pleased he's had this interview with Yu Suzuki. Essentially, this interview is going through 40 years of Yu Suzuki being in the game industry, and it's a celebration of that. Mentions Air Twister and sort of the build up to that, and then some interesting points that I'm going to pick up. Number one, he talks about Shenmue 4, and I'm going to come on to that. He also mentions a Yakuza 0 inspired Shenmue 0 idea. It's the first time we've ever had that. I've obviously spitballed the idea in a previous video, and I'm going to refer back to that when we talk about this. And he also talks very briefly about the fact he is working on another game, though there's no particular details around that. The whole interview will be linked below, so go and check it out. Ezra's done a fantastic job with this interview, and everybody should check it out. So, talking about Shenmue 4, he wants it to be enjoyable to newcomers. We know that already. It's been mentioned ever since Shenmue 3 came out. He talks about implementing maybe less of the sort of recap story, sort of 20 to 30% of it. And he wants to integrate into the main game sort of flashback scenes that you can play, which sounds really cool. I'd be well up for something like that, being more interactive, and then hopefully would engage players more in the game, and what hopefully would then lead to be more investment in the story. That's one part of it, and I'm going to come on to it. The second bit he talks about is essentially Shenmue 0. So he is asked outright, obviously quoting Yakuza 0 here, that it became a turning point for the franchise, and had Yu Suzuki thought about it for Shenmue. And he says, yes, I have. I can't go into the detail at this point, but it's something I've been thinking about, he said. I think recreating the streets of Dobuita with modern visuals on a new engine alone would make it worth doing. It also connects to the topic of not simply expanding in size. Making a more detailed Dobuita than the original Shenmue is an interesting idea, especially if not a remake but a prequel with a new story. So that's very, very interesting that it's being lent towards a new story. But let me just park that for 30 seconds to go back to Shenmue 4. He doesn't really talk about anything new here, other than that he wants to implement sort of the flashback scenes that are playable, which I'm all for. And it's good to see that he's thinking very passionately about Shenmue 4, and hopefully, everything crossed, that happens and we get it. The main point here is the talk of a Shenmue 0. I talked about this in a video a few months back now, and I labelled it as a very sort of high-risk strategy, but a very high reward strategy if, and it's a big if, it pays off. That's the problem. That's the risk, but there's a big reward here. So how do you sell that to a publisher? Because arguably they could go, why don't you just finish the series? Are they thinking, and it seems like that's in the back of their mind here, that Shenmue 0 could essentially be that sort of epiphany moment that Shenmue breaks the mainstream audience and we are away and we get those sales that powers us on to finishing the story in a blaze of glory that Shenmue, I think, deserves. In reality, to make that happen, that is a big, big, big ask. So, how is this going to run as a story? Well, I've mentioned as well, using a WoW's backstory. Looking at this, it seems that they would be potentially focusing on Rio. I don't know, but they mentioned Dobuita and obviously detailing that out, fleshing that out. Is that going to cost a lot of money as well? Think about this for a minute. Like, obviously they've got the Shenmue 3 engine. They can use that. They could recreate Debuita in that. You've seen it done with the Dragon of Phoenix project. They can obviously do something and recreate Debuita in Unreal. Use Unreal 4, Unreal 5, whatever wants to suit them. But again, a cost factor here. You're then asking, essentially, for 2 games. Now, they could, if they wanted to, I guess, combine the 2 and maybe use what they learned from a Shenmue 0 to a Shenmue 4 or vice versa. It could work either way. But for asking for 2 Shenmue games to get funded is, again, a big ask. I'm absolutely all for it. I'm all for more Shenmue. I'm just trying to balance out here the pros and the cons of something like this. Would I buy it? 100% I'd buy a Shenmue 0. I'd buy multiple copies of it. But is that what people want? I don't know. The responses I've seen on social media today have generally been quite positive towards it, so that's awesome, that's refreshing. I'm just torn on where I sit as to whether it's a good strategy or not. It makes sense if you can execute it the way you want to and you can generate those sales to make it the success it needs to be. It could be the shot in the arm that the series needs. But it is a lot of investment, a big risk, and if it goes tits up, I'm going on record in saying this, we will probably never get a Shenmue 4. If Shenmue 0 is released first and does not sell well, we are stuffed. That's, sorry to be so blunt about it, is where I think it would end up. Moving away from the Shenmue 0, and I want to give some immediate reaction on that, the in-depth stuff is coming. Moving away from that, he also talks a little bit about wanting to do a new game, and he's doing a new game at the moment. So coming down the interview slightly, he says here that while obviously it doesn't seem like Shenmue 4 or Shenmue prequel is officially in development, obviously there's a possibility, and that should be exciting, but Shenmue's not all that he's been busy with. He said there's various ideas for other games he'd like to make, he said, and while I can't go into detail about it today, they are working on a game right now. Now that is music to my ears. I am so pleased that WiseNet are still working and still making games. 99% isn't a Shenmue related game, but the fact they are working, hopefully generating money, hopefully generating profit, the lights are on, that can edge us towards more Shenmue titles in theory. I'm very interested to see what this WiseNet game is going to be. Look forward to it. Whenever it's announced, sign us up, we'll cover it, and I'm pretty sure we'll all buy it. So then he also talks a little bit about Air Twister, and that obviously is coming out on November the 10th. We are covering that in depth from November the 6th with a written review. We're going to have a video review, stream, hopefully some giveaways as well. They launched on Strictly Limited Games, the limited edition game for Air Twister. So you've got a Switch version, you've got the PS5 version, you've got the only way to get a PS4 physical copy through Strictly Limited Games here. And then you've got the limited, or the collector's edition rather, on Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, and also a art card. You'll notice the artwork on the covers here is exclusive to this version. You get a collector's edition box, you get the game with a reversible title sheet, which I think is really cool. You get the manual, you get an art book, you get a bio booklet of Yu Suzuki, you get the soundtrack, which is fantastic, and there's also a different print version of the soundtrack to the original soundtrack that was on sale in Japan, which I managed to pick up last year. And you get an autograph card of Yu Suzuki and also a piece of artwork signed by Yu Suzuki as well. So that is available on Strictly Limited Games. PlayStation 5 Collector's Edition is limited to 500. I'm not sure about PS4. Switch is limited to 1500, and they will likely go quickly. So if you haven't picked one of those up, make sure you go and do that. The link will be below.
Right, Matt, let's crack on into the show now. We're going to have a little bit of a music break with your Shenmue 1 pick. Can you remember what you chose?
I can. So this is from Shenmue 1. It's called Spider. You will recognise it from Bar Yokosuka. And it's a great little piece of music.
No! What I do? Oops, I'm out of here.
Okay, welcome back. That was Spider from Shenmue 1. Great piece of music there. Obviously, the theme of Bar Yokosuka. Right, so if you remember on the previous episode, or at least the Kickstarter updates episode that we did, I think that was episode 5 actually, so yeah, 2 episodes ago now, we were looking at the first 30 we managed to get to of the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter updates. We're currently at 31 now, which is where we're going to begin. We're going to see how far we can get to. Hopefully these upcoming updates are a little bit shorter. The first ones were like quite heavy in depth and quite a lot of videos and stuff, which took up a lot of the time there. Obviously, as previously mentioned, there's 134 updates in total, so we do have a lot to cover. I don't think we're going to do it all in this episode. I pretty much foresaw a part 3 at least. But let's just see how far we get today, and I'm going to start with update 31, which is titled New Shenmue Project Member Kenji Itoso. Okay, it says, hello everyone. Before we get into our member interview for today, a big thank you to everyone for helping us reach the $4.6 million buy ship battle event stretch goal. Rio will have a tough battle on his hands with this one. Will he now? Obviously we never saw that, but today's interview is with Kenji Itoso, the newest member of the Shenmue family. After apprenticing under Hayao Miyazaki at... Oh, that's the Studio Ghibli guy, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ooh, okay.
It's Studio Ghibli.
There's a bit of pedigree there.
Itoso-san went on to be the director in a number of different media fields. More recently, he's been part of the Satoshi Kon's Dreaming Machine and also worked on Attack on Titan.
Ooh, that's a big anime.
Yeah, definitely. It was, what was it? Was it season 3 or something that was on at the same time Shenmue was on?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I think it won all the awards, didn't it, when we were a little bit gutted about that.
Fix!
Itoso-san is passionate about creating original animation, and his Santa Company and Kulubokuro, something funded through Kickstarter, by the way, have won worldwide acclaim, garnering appearances at the Cannes Film Festival. Itoso-san has been an integral part of the Kickstarter campaign, working closely with Yu Suzuki as the promotion video director. The Shibuya scramble scene was all him. Please give a warm welcome to Kenji Itoso-san. Okay, so that where Yu Suzuki stands in the middle of the Shibuya crossing.
Yeah. That was really
screens.
cool.
That is really cool, actually. Yeah, that's something I picture actually when I think of that Kickstarter trailer, as Yu Suzuki standing with all the billboards in the background and stuff. So we're going to watch the English version, which is the top video.
Yeah.
Yep. This one works, right?
As far as I'm aware.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
I am Kenji Itoso. I mainly work in the field of animation and live action films, music videos, and commercials as a director.
Some original sketches there.
Producer.
Ooh, quite nice.
Is he's the artist then, is he? A little bit of an artist.
Must be.
And will also
he's discussing the story.
Storyboards for the in-game movies.
Okay. This guy stuck around, did he?
I think so, but don't quote me.
When Shenmue 1 was launched. And
got a nice watch.
Inevitably,
yes,
a fan of Yu Suzuki back then.
Does look young.
So
yeah, very young.
It is an honor now to work with him like this. But it feels sort of strange at the same time. I remember when the Dreamcast was launched, and Shenmue 1 was one of the big titles that came out. I was playing it and talking about it with my friends. I have a lot of memories like that, ones that we all have. I came across this game right in the middle of when I was growing up. At that time, I was just another fan.
That's crazy, isn't it? A fan to actually working on the game series.
I know. I'm a little bit jealous.
I think there will be a lot of highlights for Shenmue 3. But the fact that after all these years, we will finally get to see the sequel to Shenmue 2, I think that will be the main attraction. what happens from there, what kind of characters Ryo will face. It is those things the fans have been craving that will be the real draw for Shenmue 3.
Don't know why he's got that up. That's the original premiere artwork, that wasn't it?
Loves
Yeah.
stories. So that is the part that I am really looking
Did he just say something
forward
about
to.
love story?
As I
He
work
loves
with
stories.
and learn from him,
Oh, he loves
I
stories.
now really understand how and why he created Shenmue. When he's working on the storyboards, he acts it out. It might be self-explanatory, but he really knows you need to imagine and act it out to really get the point across. The trailer video for the Kickstarter campaign has the scene where they are jumping rocks. He suggested we recreate the scene to get a better feel for it.
Okay.
So, Yusan and I actually jumped and measured the distances. Seeing his devotion towards realism and how he creates movies was not only really fun, but a real experience for me.
I love that when they actually do hands-on stuff.
It's pretty
Shenmue
cool.
is a big title that has special meaning for Yusan. There are also a lot of fans all over the world who can't wait any longer for this sequel. During these 15 years, Yusan had kept thinking about it, coming up with new ideas. I strongly believe this new Shenmue, here now after 15 years, will be a fascinating piece of work. Shenmue 3 is under development right now. Many of the staff members from Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2 are also taking part, working hard with the newcomers, bringing in new ideas. I believe they can create a great game with ideas that we have never seen before. However, this will not be possible without you. So please be sure to let everyone know that Shenmue is happening. And please give us your support. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Fair play.
Fair play, yeah. We should really have the credits, I think, open. Are they in text form anywhere, just to see?
Got it here. What's
You
his
got it, yeah.
name?
Itoso, wasn't it? Was it?
Kenji Itoso is he's listed in early contributor to the Shenmue 3 project.
Early contributors. Interesting. So he was he the original storyboard guy? No, he wasn't, was he? Because he was saying he was a student at the time.
He's a newbie.
So I wonder what he actually did then.
I don't know.
So I'm not quite sure what he did or what happened. That he wasn't a main member as such, but yeah, very interesting, very good video on Kenji Itoso-san. So it says, thank you very much. Kenji's Kickstarter original anime projects can be found at Santa Company and Columbo Kokoro or something I've never heard of. Not actually sure what that is. Let's have a quick look. Is that a game or possibly an anime created by Awesome Japan?
Oh, so they did the Kickstarter for it. So I wonder if that was part of getting this, and how that may have come about. Okay, didn't know that.
And then we've got a USQ. Yu Suzuki will be back this Friday, Saturday to pick up where he left off last week. Keep sending your questions through Twitter, so I'm pretty sure we're going to be covering that soon, Matt. So if you want to take over with update 32.
Yes, so into update 32 now. Shenmue Salutations. It's a capsule figure, blowout and more. I like that. It's quite funny. So they've announced some new rewards here. Celebrate Shenmue's return by being there yourself in word or toy. Ooh.
Right.
So this was the Shenmue guest book at $600. Put your name and a 140 character message in the guest book of a Chobu Inn, and it includes a $500 reward. It said also including all higher rewards. at last. Also, be your own capsule figure. Main character designer Kenji Miyawaki said he would love to help out by doing the design illustrations for your chibi figures. So that's a bonus, and thank you very much, Kenji. The capsule toy rewards are standalone rewards, so will not be included with the higher reward. It was a $700. Those dice dude capsules, I remember those. They were pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
And then you've got the $1,200 tier. You're drawn as a chibi figure in game, which was available from the Safe Shenmue building.
Man, I was so close to going for that, just because it would have been amazing to be like your own capsule toy.
Sweet as. I mean, we're quite lucky that we've got our photos in the game. And
that was my
about
slight dilemma. Do I want to be a capsule toy, or do I want like a big picture of me?
It's difficult, isn't it, that one? And then moving further down, you got the BFF capsule toys, so the paired ones that come out. So you get like yourself plus Rio or Shenhua or whatever, and that was $1,800 as well. Limited 40. There's some really good stuff here. I quite like that. And that's the pretty much the end of the update. It then goes back to what we were just talking about the hashtag #YouAskYou, which is coming back Friday, Saturday to pick up where they left off last time. Keep sending your questions in through your Twitter account using that hashtag. And that was the update. It's quite a short update in actual fact.
Yeah, exciting one. I remember that when that first released, and it was that put a bit of a spanner in the works with regarding what sort of reward I want.
Yeah.
It is interesting. Some of the people that actually had the capsule toy rewards at the end. I think Adam Corlick had one, and then
Spags had one, didn't he?
Spags, I think it's Scribe had one.
I don't know if Scribe did. I think Andrew from AM2 Podcast,
if
my memory serves me correctly.
That was one. Yeah.
There was quite a few, wasn't there?
Shenmue, I remember as well.
Yeah.
Ben, he had one. So yeah, cool little reward, that one. So update 33, Matt. This is Masaya Matsukaze back with more. So this is going to be part 2, is it? Or part 3? I can't remember. It currently says the video is private, so I think you've got the link for that, right?
Yes, it's in our Discord. Do you want me to sing it over?
Yes, please. Part 2, is it?
Yeah.
So it says, hello everyone, thank you all for your hashtag #YouAskYou questions. All the questions and answers from today's session will be posted on a later update. Keep your unasked questions safe because Yusan will return on hashtag #YouAskYou. In this update, we've got Masaya Matsukaze, the actor who played Ryo in Shenmue 1 and 2. He's back to give the second half of his interview. He shares his experiences with the audition, the Shenmue phenomenon, and even gets into his love/hate relationship with video games and how it helped him to get the part. So we're going to watch this video, Matt.
It's going to be on YouTube because it's private. I don't know why it's private. No idea.
I don't know why it's private. It's something gets spoilt in this, or
I don't know.
A licensing issue. We're gonna maybe we'll find out as we watch this. So,
yeah.
You ready, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello everyone. It's been a while. I'm Masaya Matsukaze, and I played Yu Suzuki in Shenmue.
Meeting Yu Suzuki.
When I first met him, it was at a top-secret audition that I got my way into. Yusan and a row of staff members were lined up there, and we got interviewed. Not to be rude, but I didn't know who Yu Suzuki was at the time. Of course, I'd been to arcades though. So Yusan asked me for the first time, "Do you know who I am?" with his usual smile. I said, "I'm sorry, I don't." And the others with me at the audition actually started shaking. And the next person who was asked the same thing was like, "Of course, you're the Yu Suzuki, right?" And I thought, I'm blowing it. But eventually
was
we
like a
also
big
got
shot
into
back in
talking
those
about
days as
Virtua
well.
Fighter.
Yeah, he was
Yusan asked me,
massive
"Do
deal,
you play
wasn't he?
games at all?"
Yeah.
And I didn't know that Yusan had made that game, so... At the time, one-on-one fighting games were popular, but those always got to me. Because players would jump in and I'd lose. And it'd be, "You lose" or "lose" on my screen. And I couldn't stand that. And I said I'd always get angry and be like, "Who beat me now?" And Yusan just smiled real big and was like, "Nice."
Nice.
Well, really? But when I think back, I'm sure there were lots of other people that knew it and loved it much more than me. But in the end, Yusan chose me. So instead of someone who was really into the game, Yusan decided to select people that would get easily worked up by playing it. Most people would rather choose people that are big fans of their games, you know? But Yusan's someone who doesn't do any of that. That's my impression of him even now. He's just really cool. A
Yu
different
Suzuki
kind of adult.
mystique.
It's been a long time since I first met him, but I haven't met anyone like him. No, never anyone quite like Yusan. Also, I was in my 20s at the time, and meeting Yusan was really, well, let's just say I caused him a lot of pain.
I wonder what he means
But I
by
learned
that.
a lot from him too.
Maybe he had to take
I
a lot of
thought,
direction,
man,
or
with passion
in
like
your
this that has
20s,
the power to
youthful
move people
exuberance.
still
Yeah.
exists.
Maybe like out clubbing and drinking
People
when he's
like
supposed
him
to be
that
working.
can come up and
Turn
create
up
ideas
hungover
that
the
no
next
one else
morning.
can.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rio.
I think that's pretty amazing. There was a time I got the chance to go eat with Yusan,
Still looks
and
20.
he told me
Fucking
that the
does.
whole world asked him the same thing. About 3. About Shenmue. Everyone's like, Shenmue, Shenmue. And so we were in an area in Tokyo, secretly working on production for a long time. Well, for Yusan, it's much longer if you include the project planning. He said the work we do really does make it around the world, especially since Yusan gets invited to all sorts of events everywhere. He's been
True.
told by people from all different places, countries, and ages. At the time, we were in such a closed-off place we couldn't realize it back then. The reality of creating something for the world like that has really hit me now. So when it was decided to relaunch, I was so moved I could have cried. Yusan mentions about how the Shenmue gamers he meets now, even after all this time, give him all kinds of comments like, I loved it, and it changed my life. My life turned out this way because you made Shenmue.
That's crazy.
So
mad,
when we
isn't
were
it?
eating there together,
So many
he
people are
says
like that as
maybe
well.
we
It's not
shouldn't
just like
release
one or
something that
two.
isn't perfect.
Lots of people, lots and lots.
Mm.
Game developers,
that's true.
all sorts.
It
Yeah.
is still one of the world's firsts. Something only he could do. What Shenmue is has kind of already been established. So there were times when he thought it might be better left as is, if it had to be released in some odd way. But after talking to all the fans, he says, this can't go down unreleased. He started to feel that there's no way that he could say no to all of these people. Even if
Just
it's
getting
not
bombarded.
perfect, I'm sure everyone will understand, he says.
That's kind of like what happened actually.
And this means
Yeah.
a huge range of people for Yusan. Why Yusan decided to do this now was because of those Shenmue players. I've been to the AM2 Summer Festival too, and everyone there is so warm and just love it. To think he was touched like that and acted on it gave me chills. So, this is really like a miracle for me too, that I could be saying this right now. More than anyone,
Cheerful
I'm
guy,
excited for this.
Mm.
It's like a dream, a miracle. It really feels like deja vu. But all I can say at this point is that this Shenmue being brought back now will definitely be the world's best. I hope that you'll all look forward to it and enjoy it with us together to the end.
I quite like this sort of. Did we
I do.
work out it was like people coming and going? that
Yeah,
piece
it's
of
very,
music?
very close to
Very
it.
close. Yeah, slight variation on that, but I love that music. Very, very good, Matt.
Yeah,
Speaks very passionately, doesn't he?
he does, and actually, it's him sort of touching on the fans and keep harassing and harassing. It's what we need to be doing now. You know, keep
Yeah.
pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, and we will get it. We will get that fourth game. It's I keep saying it's the hard yards now, but anyway, I digress. Let's carry on.
Well, it's literally what he's just said there. Yu Suzuki was like thinking of putting a line under it or whatever, and then because of so many people wanting another game, how could he say no? So
it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Hopefully we're doing that in part for Shenmue 4, hopefully. So yeah, thanks again, Messiah-san. We look forward to seeing you again. Last up for today, we have one more reward for you all, for all you believers of fate. So this must be another extra little reward they just tacked on at the end of this update here. It's called Lend Shenmue a Hand. So your hand and all the mysteries that lie within its palm will be featured in a book at a fortune teller. See what your future will hold. And it also includes the $600 reward. So I don't know, did one person have this? I think someone had this, right?
There was. I just noticed the name on there actually. It's Mark Kimberly. And
Mark Kimberly, yeah.
Yeah, I'd never noticed that before. Very, very good. I like that.
Yeah, a little Easter egg there. Yeah, someone definitely did have that because I remember there is a book. I think it's that guy. It's the one that he was something about wine or whatever and runs off into the guy in the room.
Yeah. That's it. Oh, wine and gambling were bad for his health. That was it.
It's something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Madness.
Mad.
So now coming into update number 34, poll results and fishing polls. I like what they did there. So hello everyone. Poll results from your favourite character and minigame are in with an outstanding 14,751 people replying. It's quite a lot of people. Some questions were not answered by all the respondents, but it's pretty easy to see where the loyalties lay. So who was the favourite character in the Shenmue series? Rio smashed it.
This was a previous update, I think, in the last show.
It was, yeah.
Go through the character list, weren't we? And I think
indeed
this was where something like Yu Suzuki was a bit disappointed with the results or something.
They were talking about obviously the winner of the poll gets an extra scene, and
yeah, that was it.
Rio won it by a massive margin, and then I mean I don't know what extra scene he got. Quite honestly,
maybe it's that bit where he's on top of the bloody balcony and he looks down and sees the
or the hotel
hotel lady dancing possibly. And brawling uppercutting.
So that was that poll, obviously, with Dolnio coming in a hot last.
I think it was because Hewing was so low down that Yu Suzuki was disappointed, I think.
I was a bit disappointed by that. I think if they ran that poll now, it'd be very different, especially with the anime and the portrayal that they gave Ewing in the anime. I think it'd be very different.
Just run for the list, Matt, just for the audio people like.
So the list, quite simply, is Rio won with over 5,000 votes. Absolutely insane. Ren came in second with 1,600. Nozomi came in with 1,400, nearly 1,500 votes. Shenhua came in with just under 1,100 votes. Landy came in at 947. Tom came in at 6th with 811. Joy, 541. Guizhang at number 8 at 406. Zhuing really far down, as we said, at number 9 with 270. And Dolnio at number 10 at 135. I can already hear people writing that Goro is not in this list. Never mind.
I think a lot of this was because he assumed some characters may return, like Zhuing. So people were trying to like sort of swindle the votes a little bit to try and get like a Nozomi cutscene or something, or a Tom cutscene. More so than like you just expect maybe to see Zhuing again, possibly.
Yeah, and it was.
But then Rio won, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's that one, and then they did a poll again on popular mini games, and the winner was Lucky Hit, which is quite interesting. Before I go into the rundown, all the titles here, I think, barring QTE title, which I think had some sort of arcade machine, all of these, I think, are broadly not Sega titles. Obviously, you got darts in there as well, but you could do a play on that, couldn't you? But let me run it down for you. So Lucky Hit won at 4,403, quite a lot. QTE title came in at number 2, 2,516. Duck Racing placed really high at 2,201. Billiards, 1,730. Flowerbird Wind and Moon, 943 at number 5. Number 6, darts, 786. 7, arm wrestling, 629. And then joint 8th, you came in at big or small, roll it on top with 157.
Can you remember how these were chosen? Were these like already named, or did people type these words in?
I don't know. I'd have to try and cast my mind back. If everybody knows how this was sort of gathered at the time or what options were there, let us know. It's interesting when you go through that list. Obviously, Lucky Hit made it in. QTE title was in there, which was great. Flowerbird, Wind and Moon made it. Roll It on Top made it, but I don't think Big or Small did, and the others definitely didn't.
Interesting. Yeah, you're right. And then obviously they added a few unique games to Shenmue 3 as well on top of that.
They did
Smart
indeed.
Ball.
Smart Ball and like your Pale Toss and things like that. Which, all good. So QT Battle, Duck Racing stayed in there, but Lucky Hit took it away in the end. If you're a Lucky Hit fan, the Beer Technique Scroll, Lucky Hit Game Ball could be the reward for you. I know some people picked that up. After Yu Suzuki saw how popular it was, he went to make sure it would be the first one you could win the special prizes from and get rewarded more for straying off the path. So all new for Shenmue 3. This is into the fishing poles now. What will Rio be taking up in 3? We think this next reward will give you the smallest of hints. Shenmue Bait and Tackle, $1,800. Get to name a fishing rod or lure. When your item is purchased, it will get a close-up and reaction from Rio, plus receive the in-game item you named. Let's get fishy.
Let's get fishy.
And includes the $600 reward. And that did make it in. I did see a few aptly named fishing rods in the game.
Someone's big tackle, I remember, which made me laugh at the time.
Yeah, I know. Someone was going to do that, weren't they?
Yeah. Did we know fishing was in the game at this point, or would this kind of be confirming that?
I think that sort of confirmed it through the back door.
Interesting. Okie dokie. So let's move into update 35 now. So you ask, you redo, and new reward. So greetings backers and Shenmue fans. Yusan sends a big thanks for all of your questions at hashtag you ask you. Lots of game insights and good laughs await below. But first, there is a new reward up for grabs. Your name will be turned into Chinese characters if you don't already have them, to be the official signage for a local street vendor in Chobu. So this was a $4,500 tier called Name a Vendor. What? Like Joe Kitchen's fried noodles?
Yeah, exactly that. That.
It says, get to name a street vendor in the Chobu area. Once Yu Suzuki approves your name, it will become vendor's sign in Chinese and English. So could you be the next Bob or Tom? And it says, Rio voice message by Corey Marshall is included as well. So we've got a huge
this is
Q&A
massive.
here. It is massive, but then again, actually half of it is in Japanese. So we could probably run through this.
Let's do it. Let's run through it quickly. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so it's a big Q&A with Yu Suzuki questions and answers. So would you consider adding a dating minigame with Nozomi as a reward? And he says, I would like to make it with a separate budget, like $2 million. Do we hold him to that?
Well, yeah.
Laughing in brackets.
Yeah, there you go. Where's my Nozomi dating game? I've been scammed.
Nozomi dating sim. Considering how the Twitch video helped raise funds, are you willing to do another one before the Kickstarter ends? He says he'd like to do a Twitch or Reddit session again, which I think he did, didn't he? He did. Yeah. What is your worst fear when making a game? He says creating new elements, telling whether it will be effective is always difficult. If the results were better than expected, then I could enhance it by simplifying it. If the results are not there, I need to think how to add on to it. Interesting. Will Shenmue 3 start in the cave? I want the satisfaction of leaving it myself. Don't skip the moment. It did start in the cave, I guess, but it did kind of skip a little bit. He says, I am thinking either from Shenfua's house or the road leading up to Bailu. So yeah, we kind of did have
pretty much what we got.
Pretty much what he said, yeah. Rio's jacket looks too neat and tidy. Will it be changed to look close to Shenmue 1 and 2? I'm thinking the same. Is that what he said? I'm thinking the same?
Yeah, I think so.
Not sure. His answer is, I want to be more worn out and fits more to Rio. Brand new jacket doesn't fit.
Yeah, I mean, it was a base model, wasn't it? They had to knock together for the Kickstarter.
Shiny.
So, yeah.
Is it possible to maybe play darts and other mini games online against fellow Shenmue fans in Shenmue 3? He says, it's one of the things I want to do, but we can't do it all, so he's still thinking. Interesting.
I can see why he didn't.
Who would win in a race? Hang-on motorcycle versus outrun car? And Yu Suzuki says, definitely the bike. He can't lose to some joyrider with a girl in the passenger seat. Or the one who does not get caught by police, he says.
I like that.
Nice. What is your favourite Japanese food / dish to eat? And Yu Suzuki said sushi. Nice and simple. If all goes to plan, when we will see the first gameplay footage of Shenmue 3? And he says the footage of final version will come out sometime in 2017, obviously delayed a little bit, but I think we did see some footage by then.
Yeah.
Will Shenmue 3 have controller support? I can't play with the keyboard. I need a console controller to game on PC. He says he's still thinking about what would be best.
And it did have controller support.
Did have controller support.
Pretty much a given, wasn't it?
They pretty much produced the game with the controller, didn't they, as they were working on it? So.
Yeah.
What will be in the art book? Will it be art from just Shenmue 3, or will it be art from all of the Shenmue games? Yu Suzuki says, I want to hear requests and comments from you about what we will include. Was there just a lot of Shenmue 3, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Pix and Love one had, well, mostly Shenmue 3 had a bit more of the older art that had been sort of published years ago in there. So
yeah, like
that was probably,
art.
Yeah, if you wanted sort of a broader spectrum, that was probably the better art book of the two.
Yeah. Probably the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter one was the nicer book overall.
Yeah.
That big long thing.
It was lovely. Yeah.
Lovely, but the actual artwork was a lot of what we'd seen, actually. Any chance to see Hamtaro? Hamtaro as a cameo in Shenmue 3.
There's a link
and he's
here.
got an image. Let's have a look. Open a new tab. Failed to open page for me. Not really sure what that was. Weird.
Wayback Machine might help us.
Oh, true. Do you want to quickly have a go?
Let me do it for the video.
Okay, so Matt will do that in the video.
We'll try to, at least.
Yeah, try to. Will you draw a new trailer to help the Kickstarter? And Yu Suzuki says, yes, we're planning to publish it. Please check out our Kickstarter page frequently.
Good stuff.
Did you base any of the Shenmue characters on people you knew in real life? Yu Suzuki says, some of the characters are based on the staff, like Takimoto-san, Takeuchi-san, Hirai-san, and Miyawaki-san. Which we did know some of them, I think. Yeah. Did any specific martial arts movies inspire you when creating the Shenmue story? Yu Suzuki says, yes, of course. Others like books on Chinese martial arts, like Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee. I watch Hong Kong kung fu movies often. The good parts and the bad from Hong Kong B-movies were the most helpful. Jackie and Bruce Lee get very complicated with their moves, and it's hard to break them down. Okay. I am really happy to see you will be able to call older characters on the phone. Will Ryo be able to call Goro? Yu Suzuki says, I like Goro, but I don't know how popular he is amongst the fans. I think you can call Goro, actually, can't you?
Yes, you can. And he's very popular, guys. Very popular.
Very popular. There you go. That's why he got included in the end, obviously. Will we be seeing the classic QTE style return with the flashing icons? Yu Suzuki says, yes, I would like to implement it. I want to have more style than Shenmue 1 and 2. Which it kind of did, actually. It did have more. It was like quicker. It looked smoother. Like I'm thinking that, well, obviously, yeah, the actual QTEs were quicker. But I'm thinking that bit where he tramples across the table and the bowls go flying and stuff like that. It's very dynamic.
Yeah. I see what you're going with.
Very much more stylized in that sense. If you could create a spin-off game based around a character other than Ryo, who would you choose? And he says, I think it will be Ren. Story where he grows from a rogue to the head of the Hong Kong heavens. Then his fate changed by Ryo completely. Interesting. His fate changed by Ryo completely.
Be an interesting game if that ever saw the light of day.
Yeah, I like that idea, because we did know, we found out he's originated as a Mongolian horseback rider in a gang, which there's a bit of a story to tell.
There's definitely a story there, isn't there?
Yep. Please explain the high ground battle system stretch goal for Shenmue 3. Yu Suzuki says it enables Ryo to have more interaction with his surroundings to enhance the battle system. It will be fun to increase the reaction chains.
It does a bit, because there's certain elements. I know when you fight the red snakes in the VIP area of, I can't remember the name of the place in the owl now, but the gambling den. If you smash them into the wall, all the stuff falls down around them, things like that.
Yes,
so that's
true.
Quite cool.
Smash them into the tables and stuff, can't you?
The
it all breaks
and they go through the tables, don't they? Yeah. That's it, Golden Goose.
Golden Goose, yeah. Hiroshi Fujioka, who originally was a WoW Hazuki and obviously the Saturn guy, Sanshiro guy, was all up for Shenmue City. Will he be back? I would love to see him again. Interesting. He sent, this is what Yu Suzuki says, he sent me Fujioka brand coffee recently. Doesn't really answer the question, Yu Suzuki, but would you consider cell shading only for the characters to make it look close to the artwork? And he says, to express the nostalgia from 1 and 2, I'm not planning to use it.
Fair enough.
Where does your interest in Chinese culture come from? And he replies, it's the romance of Chinese martial arts and Chinese history, I feel. Next question. Why are Neo Sun's breasts so large? He says, 98 centimeters. You do the math. Okay. No, I don't think they were asking how big, but why? You do the math. 98 centimeters. Can you do the math there, Matt?
I'm not even going to... No, I can't even... That's like... I'm pretty sure you'd fall over.
Quite big is probably a decent answer there. Is it safe to assume that the CGI renders from Shenmue 1 and 2 are the intended final look for the character models? And he says the models will have better quality than Shenmue do. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Could DLC be provided for Shenmue 3? Any plans for additional contents after release? He says it's under consideration.
And it did happen.
Yeah, it did happen in the end. I don't know whether that was Yu Suzuki's choice, but it did. Any chance of seeing a playable Virtua Fighter arcade machine in Shenmue 3? He says, Shenmue starts around 1986 where full polygon games do not exist, so what should I do?
Sega don't give you the license, so it doesn't matter.
That's true, but you did have the Saturn in the game anyway, so...
You did, yeah.
Sometimes are you not annoyed that the interest of your fans mainly concerns Shenmue, to the detriment of your other work? Good question, actually. He says, I don't get annoyed, but I would like to hear questions about my other games as well. Before this Kickstarter, 80% of questions were Shenmue, 10% were Virtua Fighter, and my other games got 10%. So,
it's probably very similar now, isn't it?
It probably is, mate. I mean, if he finished the Shenmue saga, obviously we'd stop harassing him about Shenmue, wouldn't we? So
yeah,
we'd probably harass him for maybe an Outrun 3 or something. What are the 3 wishes in the $1,400 tier? He says it's not decided, but the current plan is strength, more money, and be popular with girls. It's the wishes of you backers, not Rio. Okay. If the funding does not make 9 million in 8 days, will we see a part-time job anyway? Yu Suzuki says, even if the funding does not reach 9 million, there will be part-time jobs. How many there will be is still a secret. So what have you got? You got the wood cutting and the forklift. Anything else?
That's it, isn't it, in terms of actual job? Oh, no, you got the chicken catching, duck catching.
Oh, yeah, you can do that for money as well, can't you? Yeah. Very good, very good. Will Ryo shoot fireballs in Shenmue 3 like he did in the trailer of Shenmue Online? Good question. In Shenmue 3, I want the scenario to allow characters to use more realistic moves.
Interesting, isn't it? That's Shenmue
He's moving
3
away, is he, from the magic, do you think?
Yeah, it felt like it did in the game, so I wonder if that's like the first subtle hint of something like that.
Yeah, or at least just in Shenmue 3. Except from cows, cats, dogs, birds and fish, what new animals can we expect to see in Shenmue 3? He says there are scenes set in Chinese mountain roads, so I want to have animals that fit the scene. It will be a spoiler if I go further.
Fair enough.
What does he have then?
Yeah, cows.
Chickens?
Yeah, cats, chickens.
Chickens
ducks,
was a new one.
Fish. I think that was it. Wasn't it?
Possibly. Is there a goat?
Oh, Shenhua's goat, I think, yeah.
Shenhua's goat, yeah.
Pops up in a cutscene, yeah.
Yeah. Why did you consider using Unreal Engine 4 instead of the other middleware, Unity, for example? And what were the criteria? Yusuke says it was the colour. I believe Unreal 4 could express the Shenmue colour, atmosphere, the humidity, a world with smell. He kept going on about that, didn't he? Like he could smell the game, which he liked. If Rio was based on Akira, was Landy based roughly on Lao-chan? Yusuke says Landy uses the same martial arts as Lao, but the character and background setting are very different. Interesting. Since the hardware is different, the data will not be transferable, but I was wondering if moves like the brawling uppercut will be back. I'm so excited for Shenmue 3. The answer is I want to consider implementing the brawling uppercut and tornado kick in Shenmue 3. I think you did get both, didn't you?
We got both, yeah.
And then the new brawling uppercut too. I really love Shenmue, but I suck at games. I got through 2 because of the variable difficulty, rescue mode. Will 3 have something similar? Yu Suzuki says, definitely yes, I want everyone, including new players, to enjoy it, so I will implement a variable difficulty system in Shenmue 3.
Which he did.
Which he did. In Chapter 1, was there a picture of Ryo in his school uniform? Have you considered a flashback scene from his school days? I really want to see Ryo in his school uniform. We've got another image link here. Does this work?
Link. It does work.
Okay. That artwork with the cat, I remember that.
Yeah, I do remember that now. It's a nice little piece of artwork, actually.
Not really an answer, but okay. From your games, which character A would you want to be friends with? B, do you want as your girlfriend? C, do you totally hate? Please tell. So A, can't tell you. My wife won't be happy if I did.
Okay.
Okay. He's probably hinting at Nozomi or something, is he?
Yeah.
With the phone card, will you be able to call Nozomi many times and have different conversations? He says, she will hate you if you call too many times. Don't think that happens, but that would have been cool. Will you have a presentation at the Tokyo Game Show? This year's TGS is still undecided. Bloody hell, there's a lot of questions. I didn't think there was this many.
Isn't there?
Suzuki-san, any details on the Magic Maze? Magic Maze is a technology to auto-generate maze. If this is reached, we will have a large forest area and many events and elements along with it. Oh, I wonder if that would have been like we saw in the trailer a little bit, didn't we? Like that very early Ryo and Shenmue walking through the woods again.
Yeah.
We would have got a bit more of that.
Possibly, yeah.
Rock jumping stuff again. At the end for Shenmue 3, will Ryo and Shenmue be sleeping in the same room? Oh, I hope this question didn't Yusan to add an extra room to Shenmue's house. Just the reply is it depends on the vacancy of Bailu Village Inn. Interesting.
Which they never had.
Have you seen this incredible tribute yet? Please enjoy from your devoted, loving fan base. What was this one?
Let's click it and have a look.
Matthew Rimmer. I think I do remember this.
I do remember it now. I can't believe it's that old, actually.
I do remember watching this. Probably Kickstarter. Nice video, actually. You can pop the link in there.
Yeah,
Matt might have shown a little bit on the screen.
Yeah.
Yu Suzuki says, I'd like to thank all the fans. I will do my best to meet the fans' expectations, regardless of the budget, and create a great game. The part when Ryo goes to Guilin got super interesting. Thanks. Will Ren make an appearance this time? Yes, he will. I'm thinking about how to give him a cool intro.
Okay.
Not too cool, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Will I be able to follow people around the villages? I will talk to Hirai about it, apparently.
Obviously a mechanic they thought about and didn't do in the end. They didn't need it, really.
No. I mean, you can follow people around, I guess, if you wanted to.
But you didn't need it.
Didn't need it. Will all Shenmue 3 staff be based in Japan, or will you outsource to stretch the budget? He says Japan will be the main location for development.
Some ended up in India, didn't it? With Lakashka Games or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's them, yeah. Why were the Bailu stretch goals the last stretch goals? That's a good question. That's something that we were talking about last time around, wasn't it?
Yes.
He says many of the new challenges in Shenmue 3 are in Baisha. As a result, the focus was put there.
That's interesting. That changed, didn't it?
Interesting, yeah. I really wish it hadn't, but obviously time constraints, I guess. Would you like to make new games for arcade machines? Yusan says, yes, arcade machines have their own intrinsic qualities. I want to make something that utilizes holographic imaging.
Interesting.
Will we see Fukusan again? Does he become martial arts master? Look forward to his appearances in the telephone calls. Okay, so already quite far ahead in terms of planning this out.
They had a good idea of it, didn't they?
Even if the Kickstarter finishes around the 5 million mark, will we still have Bailu, Baisha, and Chobu in the game? And Yu Suzuki says, yes, they will be in the game. Obviously, we lost Baisha. Had Ryo been loved much to girls in Yokosuka High School, or Shoebox was full of love letters? I don't think so. He was not supposed to be like that. Not really romantic. What is your favourite programming language? I think C# is a good one amongst the recent languages, Yusan says. Last few questions here. With Qt being overused in games now, often badly without deep thoughts, how will you approach this in Shenmue 3? Yu Suzuki says, I want to make a streamlined Shenmue unique QTE. Not sure about that. Streamlined, maybe?
It was sort of, but it was very similar to the old ones, wasn't it?
Yeah. How did Ryo get a Sega Saturn in 1986? Does he have time powers? And that's a secret, Yu Suzuki says. Will you do any crowdfunding in Japan? I'm worried about having to make foreign transactions. He replies, our homepage has a Kickstarter how-to in Japanese. If you send us a message in Japanese on the Kickstarter page, we will answer in Japanese. Any plans of a Shenmue TV drama once maybe the full story is revealed in the games? I look forward to your support, was the answer there.
We got the anime, didn't we? We got the
The
anime.
sort of, yeah. Kind of came to fruition.
Yeah.
I love Shenmue's story and look, but love the background music the best. Will there be a special CD like the jukebox from Chapter 1? Yu Suzuki says the original soundtrack in 250 tier will have memorable tracks from Shenmue 1 and 2.
There it is. A long Q&A, that, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm thinking that CD, was that the back of the CD soundtrack we got?
Yes, it was, which was also available digitally as well.
And it wasn't really Shenmue 1 and 2 music, but then again, it kind of was because they reused a lot of it. So
they did.
So yeah, that's the end of the Q&A there. I think we should move on to a piece of music, Matt, to break this up a bit, because that was quite a long one. So yeah, it's my pick. My Shenmue 2 piece now is Scarlet Hills Daytime. Yeah, enjoy.
After all that, still didn't get Landy.
Welcome back. That was Scarlet Hills Daytime theme from Shenmue 2. Right, Matt.
We are on to update number 36. New trailer for Shenmue 3 and NPC reward added. So greetings, Shenmue family. We've come to the final 3 days of the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter. Your support and encouragement alone have already made this project a huge success, so thank you. But we are not finished yet. It is our pleasure to announce a new scene from Shenmue 3. It's still a work in progress, but it's been sent with loving care and hopes it will be all the fans of the series have come to love and will show those new to the game some of the wonder and magic they can expect from the continually unfolding world of Shenmue. So please enjoy. I remember this trailer. I really liked it at the time.
I really like this trailer, actually. There's a lot of pans into Shenmue's arse, but other than that, it's nice to see this sort of like a modern take on the Fireflies scene from Shenmue 2. Definitely. Are we watching this, by the way?
We can do
38 seconds.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's watch it.
Put it on. It's a nice trailer. Oh, they actually land on his jacket.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Looks so cool. There is actually these fireflies at the behind the Save Shenmue building, isn't there? If you go through to the other side.
Yeah, there is, which is nice.
Yeah. Nice little trailer. It is just literally Ryo and Shenmue sort of standing still, and the camera's just panning
It's a nice
around.
little trailer, isn't it? And it I don't know, it just sort of got the mood going beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
It never made it into the final game, unfortunately, but it's interesting to see that reimagined in Unreal. Anyway, so moving on, Rio and Shenhua arrive at the Lake of the Lantern Bugs after a long journey. Entranced, they watch the gentle flight of the Lantern Bugs upon the Mirage Lake like oasis.
I know a lot of like websites and stuff, because obviously this was a public video.
Yeah.
This is where you're getting a lot of people that didn't really think when they were making articles and stuff, saying about the graphics and stuff like that.
I know, it's
obviously
like,
it's a work in progress, but
it's a 2015 Kickstarter that they knocked up together for proof of content. Yeah, wow. I'll go
before the Kickstarter's even finished, this is as well.
I know. So then more NPC last minute rewards. Still want to be in the game as an NPC. Don't miss out on this one. You don't get to fight Rio, but you can definitely make his acquaintance. And it's a $6,000 Chobu Traveler, be a non-combat NPC. You stay as the NPC staying at the Chobu Inn. Joe Kitchen obviously took this one. You can see him flexing, which is quite funny.
Great reward, this one, for 6,000. Like it's,
no battle scene, but your cameo in the world of Shenmue, limit of 4, and you get the message from Corey Marshall as well. And there's a push on the final hour, so that these are the most important. Keep sharing, keep telling those sailors and random people you meet that the game of the decade, nay, the Holocene era is upon us.
What? What's
I don't
that?
know what that is. And for the betterment of all mankind, you should give it your support. Okay, it's quite passionate, fair play. I've got no arguments to that. And there we are.
Yeah, me neither.
End of the update.
Okay, update 37 next is another one with Ryan Payton, who is going to express the meaning of Shenmue on Kickstarter, I guess. Again, Shenmue salutations. Here we are with 2 days left. This month has been quite a journey, and just like our hero Rio, we have fought hard battles and made new friends along the way. None of us can doubt we have been brought together by the love we share for this game that has given us so much. One of those new friends and a key member who helped Yu Suzuki get Shenmue 3 off the ground onto Kickstarter and where we are now is the founder of Camouflage and the director of Republique, Ryan Payton. Ryan is back for our final video interview with the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter. He had already spoken with us before the project went live, but as a Kickstarter veteran and Shenmue fan, he knew how important fan involvement through Kickstarter meant to Shenmue. So bringing the past and future of Shenmue full circle, Ryan sums it all up as we head into the final leg of the Kickstarter journey with his motivational words in part 2 of his video. Don't miss it, and we won't, because we're going to watch this right now, Matt.
Okay, you ready? Count us down?
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
Okie dokie, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, my name is Ryan Payton, and I'm a designer at a company that I started called Camouflage in Seattle, Washington.
Is that the same room he was in first time?
So, as somebody with
Yeah.
experience with Kickstarter, we did crowdfunding for our game Republique, and I can say from personal experience now that the whole business of asking fans to fund your game development is not only is a very strange concept, but it's something that I think motivates creators to even do better than they normally would. And what I mean by that is that it's not just money that's coming from an investor or from a publisher, where you have something of a disconnect. It to me, especially with our game, and I think with Shenmue as well, it feels like you're borrowing money from your friends and family, and that you have this deep obligation and desire to do right by them. And so I'd like to think that when it comes to the Shenmue Kickstarter, that every dollar that's going into the project is there's some kind of love associated with that, and like that the love has to go into the game, that the more love will come out of the game, because again, it's not a cold transaction. We're all in this thing together, and I think that's like what the beauty of crowdfunding really is.
Nice way to look
at it.
at
Yeah, I mean, I fully expect the Shenmue 3
using
Kickstarter
to make Shenmue
have the biggest launch of any Kickstarter in history. I think that's going to be an amazing event. It's going to feel like a party. It's going to feel like a celebration. I think of what, as a representation of what passionate fans could do for something that they love so much as a series like Shenmue. And I couldn't be more excited about that. It feels like Christmas. Christmas come in July or June or whatever, and I just can't wait for that day to see, not only for fans, I think, to be finally recognized and finally see that, wow, there is a continuation, there is this chance that we can have this, but for the rest of the world, the guys that may or may not understand what Shenmue is all about, to really look back and look and observe, that wow, there are so many people that have such a passion for this game and respect for this game. And I'm hoping that they can come along for the ride.
That's true.
I think it's going to be really exciting.
It's like follow your dreams.
I think crowdfunding is definitely a hint in terms of the future, allowing fans to take control of the things that they love. And I think I can't think of a better representation of the fans, of video game fans finally getting what they've always been asking for, and that is a sequel to Shenmue. I mean, even like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, even this kind of discussion would have been, I think, laughed at. But now is the time. Now is the right time to bring this franchise back to life, via the fans, via Kickstarter. So I think Yu Suzuki is like one of those really special creators in the sense that they really push boundaries. You can see that with all of his games. It was all about what are we doing now, and like this is where we want to take games. And I think you can see that with Virtua Fighter and Virtua Racing and Space Harrier, all these different games that he worked on. And I think when it comes to specifically to Shenmue, to me, from my perspective, it was how far can we take storytelling. And I always have respected his ambition, and I've always looked up to him and other Japanese creators that clearly were trying to push the boundaries in terms of what's possible. And they would spend a lot of money. They would work with huge teams. They would really push hardware, and I think probably upset a lot of people in their wake. But I think just like really famous directors like a David Lean or like a Stanley Kubrick, as much as they for whatever flack they took in the process of making their creations, I think that the scale and the epicness of what they're trying to do is of the utmost important for them. And again, as somebody like me who loves big, epic double albums and huge, tomes of books and that kind of level of ambition, that's why I think I'm such a fan of his work. Yeah, I think the natural approach to the creation of Shenmue has really, I think you can see the influence of it in games today in terms of the openness of the game, all the little details that normally any game developer wouldn't have bothered with in the 90s with the release of the first two Shenmue games, like with the day-night cycles and the way that the NPCs have schedules and all these things that seemed like so frivolous and unimportant to a lot of critics, I think.
The music era was there.
Now you're just seeing it as like a really common thing in a lot of especially open world games these days. And so I think, the influence of Shenmue is already like very, very apparent when you look at modern games today. But then when it comes to that fourth disc of Shenmue 2, where you're walking around the forest with Shenhua, I like to think that might be like the next step for games as well. I mean, you're seeing that sometimes right now with like indie titles where they're not looking to, they don't feel like they need to have an explosion every 30 seconds, and you're starting to see that there's other gameplay experiences, other story experiences you can have that outside of just like the normal kind of moment-to-moment action. And I always point back to that fourth disc as like, this is where we could go as an industry.
It's interesting he commenting on there on the fourth disc, because he was the one that was like sort of getting Yu Suzuki to push things quicker at the start of the game, wasn't he?
2015, what that game represents is it's the holy grail, it's the white whale of crowdfunding, of Kickstarter. It's the game that I think everybody thinks is like the final destination when it comes to fans coming together and getting a sequel to a game that they've loved for many, many years. I can't think of a better game that's like suited for this big explosion of excitement when it comes to working with the community and bringing a game and resurrecting a series, from a very, very long hibernation. And so to me, I just get goosebumps thinking about, going back into that world and seeing where the story is going to continue, because a lot of people who aren't familiar with Shenmue don't really understand the absolute trauma, like the traumatic, painful existence of what we all have for so many years, like wanting to know where the story's headed. Because we all know that the game was created from the very beginning with such scope and scale, with so many different chapters, and we know that we've only been able to taste, only the first few chapters through the first two games. And so it's been literally a decade and more, and some change. So I'll say that again, but it's literally been a decade and some change of fans getting onto forums, myself included, hypothesizing about where the story's headed. And it's been such an excruciating experience that I just get really, really excited thinking about, wow, we might be able to return to this world and see what the next step for Ryo is going to be as a character.
I have a lot of time for Ryan. He speaks very candidly about Shenmue and everything around it. You can tell his passion for it.
Definitely passionate, yeah. Like I was saying, like how he's specifically pinpointed that fourth disc. There's stuff in there that obviously resonated with Ryan. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if he had too much input into, obviously, I think he just let Yu Suzuki got on with the game, didn't he, after the Kickstarter thing? And
Yeah,
really,
pretty much.
Or look over the story elements and stuff.
He dropped in sort of here and there and obviously made suggestions. And I know he's been involved in the post Shenmue 3 sort of reviews and where they want to take things forward. They still, as far as I'm aware, have a really good relationship now as well. And as I have a lot of time for Ryan Payton. Yeah, and I think he, like I said, I'll say it again, he was absolutely instrumental in Shenmue 3 happening and the Kickstarter.
Definitely, yeah. Probably wouldn't exist without Ryan.
Probably not, being honest.
So yeah, good stuff.
Oh, we've got a bit at the bottom before. So, where are we? There we go. So, the little comment at the bottom says, eloquently put, sir. Thank you again for all your help making Shenmue 3 something we could all share and be a part of. Everyone give Ryan a big round of applause. And yes, thank you. I think everybody should. Special commemorative sculpture award. Now, this I liked the final version of this. I've never seen one on eBay anywhere.
I don't think you ever will.
Nah.
Well, they sent like 3 made, weren't they? So
still looking for that something special to celebrate the occasion, then this may just be the thing for you. Crystal Memories, $2,500. Become the proud owner of a highly collectible laser engraved crystal sculpture of Ryo and Shenhua. Commemorate Shenmue 3 in style. Comes with an LED stand. 3 AAA batteries are required. Gives you the measurements, and you get the voice reward from Corey Marshall as well. Campaign final hours Twitch broadcast. Yu Suzuki will be joined by Shenmue 3 project members in a special live broadcast countdown the final hours of the Kickstarter. Scheduled to make an appearance, the animation producer Hiraki Takeuchi and main character designer Kenji Miyawaki. They've got the link there and all the various timings for that. I do remember staying up for that particular stream.
Yeah,
and I
me
do
too,
think
man.
it definitely push things over the line. And yeah, pretty solid and good update there. And that was update number 37. God, there's a lot to go.
Yeah, definitely. That was a really good Twitch stream as well. That one.
It was. It was.
Might
really
be
cool.
worth a future watch, Matt.
Digging
like
that out one day. Yeah.
Maybe like a bonus show or something. We can react to
react to
that
it
moment again. That'd be cool. Okay, update 38. Masaya Matsukaze confirmed and Monaco meeting upgrade. So, greeting Shenmue Allied Forces. We have been getting a lot of questions asking if Masaya Matsukaze will be the Japanese voice of Ryo for Shenmue 3. Strange, because obviously he's had those updates already confirming. But yes, it is official. Mr. Matsukaze will be reprising his role as the voice of Ryo. Yusan said, Masaya-san and Kuri-san were the best fit for the retrospective Japanese/English voice of Ryo and couldn't imagine any difference. So big cheers to that. Then we've got some images of the Monaco dinner reward saying it's getting a special upgrade. So Yusan has upped the ante for the Monaco dinner reward. The location will now be slightly moved to the nearby town of Ezi, famous for its history and old world beauty. Looks beautiful in these photos.
Cool.
There you will actually work with Yusan to plan a part of Shenmue 3.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
How that happened?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Chow went to this one, right? So
he did, yeah. I have to ask him.
After the planning session, enjoy a dinner party with Yusan amongst this picturesque world of times past. So there's a little comment in between these photos here. Work on Shenmue 3 here with Yu Suzuki. Yes, that's right.
That's very picturesque, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Very little alleyways and very
cool.
Very nice. Very old looking town.
Some artwork below that Yu Suzuki's put together.
Azure Sky of the... Oh, he's actually painted that. It says by Yu Suzuki.
Yeah. That's really
very
cool.
Nice. Good artist as well. Spend some time with Yusan in one of his favourite places. So, dinner with Yu Suzuki in Monaco plus Ryo's jacket replica, $10,000. So, bring a friend to participate in a Shenmue 3 project meeting with Yusan in the medieval and marvellously scenic town of Ezi, followed by a dinner party. Date will be tentatively set for the end of February 2016. Can't remember exactly when it was, but maybe, actually, right?
It would have been around then, because Magic Monaco was around that sort of time of year.
Yeah, exactly. Be named as a special sponsor on the credits and includes the jacket. I've just said that. Transportation and lodging not included. So the next stretch goal at this point, Matt, was 5.6 million, and that was going to be for the new Kickstarter record in the video games category. This is the Shenmue fans' time to shine. Show the world Shenmue is a force to be reckoned with.
There we go, and we know it obviously did break that.
Smashed it.
Yeah, absolutely smashed it. So we're now on to update 39. 39, and it's Cedric Biscay's Shenmue through and through. Now, everybody who knows me, I have a lot of time for Cedric. He is a massive Shenmue fan, massive retro Sega fan, quite frankly, as well. And he was again instrumental in getting this thing going. So it's very interesting they took this long to introduce him. Actually,
This is the first time they mentioned him, is it?
In the Kickstarters, yeah. They mentioned Shibuya Productions, but they didn't mention Cedric by name, if I recall. Now, he may have been around the press at that point, but it's the first mention he's had here that I remember anyway. Okay. So it says, Bonjour, fans de Shenmue. We have one more very important person to introduce, co-producer and longtime Shenmue fan, Cedric Biscay. Here is a little Q&A to get us all acquainted. So it basically says, can you introduce yourself to all Shenmue fans out there? So he's 35 at this point.
Wow. So we're actually older than he is now.
Yeah, I'm 36, right? And he looks younger than I do now. So he must have looked like 20 back then.
So it is weird because I'm always like, I think I've mentioned this to you before, with people, I'm strange because like I look at footballers and I don't really think they're like 18, 19, if you know what I mean, like half my age. Yeah. You sort of like, you still sort of look up to people, don't you? Like artists. Michael Jackson, for example, in his prime, he was probably like 25 when he was doing like Thriller and stuff. But to me, I look at him, in a way, it still feels like he was older than I am now. Just because I'm still so childish at heart or whatever. I don't know. It's, you know what I mean? But I never really grown up since I left school.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm going to paraphrase some of this as well.
Yeah,
I think Cedric's very much of that ilk, isn't he? He loves his games. He loves all those sorts of things that we grew up with. So he was 35, French entrepreneur with a passion for video games and animation. Started gaming at age 5 on a CPC 464 made by Amstrad. Okay. Lots of different consoles, but he loved the Sega Saturn. He's very vocal about that. And the Neo Geo Pocket Color.
Ooh, nice. I love that too.
Choice. Established Shibuya International in 2002. A consulting company acting as a bridge between Europe and Japan. And he wanted to be more involved with animation and game industry. So last year, 2014, established Shibuya Productions. Okay. They have a branch office in Japan. That's interesting. They've had that office for a long time because they did Magic Japan, didn't they? 2019, I want to say. That was it, Kyoto. Shibuya Productions' main projects are now Astro Boy Reboot, Fusion, and of course Shenmue 3. The Astro Boy Reboot did quite well, actually, from what I heard.
Yeah, I think so.
Have you played Shenmue 1 and 2? Of course he has. I played it in 2000 instead of going to class at university. Way good lad. Loved the game. Didn't understand Japanese. Complicated to pick up all that deep story, but didn't mind because the gameplay was so awesome. What impression did leave on you? He was so excited because all the Sega fans were waiting for it, and he finally got his hands on it. Usually, when you wait too much, there's a high chance you'd be disappointed. In the case of Shenmue, it was totally different. It was more impressive than the pictures I saw in the magazines. Whole game from top to bottom was great. QTE, minigames, open world, goes on and on. It's impossible to mention just one part, and you can't forget the music. Did you want to play? I mean, it says want to play Shenmue 3 after Shenmue 2?
Foreplay.
Yeah. Dodgy. Yes, as many fans, I was frustrated at the end of Shenmue 2. I was trying to find the missing CD in a box. Luckily, you have them all here, but unlucky to have them there. So glad to get the next episode now. How do you feel to be working on Shenmue 3? He feels proud. He wants to help Yu-san make Shenmue 3, but not think it could happen for real. Shenmue fans are so nice. Understood immediately I'm similar to them. And I think besides my role as co-producer, I'm kind of a fan representative. I think I will make a Shenmue business card with fan representative officer. That sounds nice. Let's ask Yu-san. And do you know what? He's very, very community-centric, Cedric, actually. And even in the days now, post Shenmue 3, anybody talks to him about Shenmue 3, Shenmue 4, he's open, he's honest, he always interacts. I would wholly back that all day. As co-producer, you have a main role in Shenmue 3. What would you like to say to Shenmue fans? First of all, thank you so much. I'm deeply impressed by all the Shenmue fans. I knew Shenmue was a famous game with a strong community, but it's been totally beyond my expectations. Without the fans in the Kickstarter campaign, it would have been impossible to make Shenmue 3. I'd like to meet the fans in the Monaco Anime Game International Conference. There's a picture of Cedric at age 35, probably. And he still looks like that. No, I don't know how he does it.
He does still look like that, doesn't he? Yeah.
And you can follow him on Twitter. I like Cedric. I have a lot of time for Cedric. Again, big part of why the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter even happened, and we got Shenmue 3 as it were.
Yeah.
Like total legend. Get him in for Shenmue 4.
Definitely. Really nice guy. Very good, very good. So, moving swiftly into update 40 here. Yu Suzuki, it's time to make our dream of Shenmue 3 a reality. So, hello backers and Shenmue fans everywhere. Yes, we're now down to the final 24 hours of the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter. Everyone has been working so hard to make this project a success. So Yu Suzuki would like to give a special message of thanks and inspiration as we head towards the goal. So please take it away, sir. So we've got a 55-second video here, Matt, if you want to
let's watch it.
Cue that up.
Okay, ready when you are.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Hello everyone, Yu Suzuki here, the director of Shenmue 3. Since Shenmue 3 was announced, a month has already gone by. In a matter of hours, we reached our goal of $2 million and rewrote the Guinness World Record for fastest game to reach 1 million. This miraculous result is all thanks to your gracious support. I believe we can make another miracle happen with Shenmue in these next 24 hours. What the fuck was that image, Matt?
That was Audi, yeah. That was Audi, yeah. Hang on, let me get there.
Weird.
That was...
Is that a Dreamcast?
That looks like a Dreamcast render of Audi, yeah.
What?
Wow.
That was the first image that was different, right? That we'd never seen before.
Yeah. I
do not remember that at all.
That's Audi. It is though, isn't it?
That is Audi, yeah. So that does make me wonder, do you reckon they did have some Shenmue 3 stuff worked on then?
They must have had something, even if it was very early pre-production.
That's crazy.
Should we carry on from where we are?
Yeah, I'm thinking like we should post that on the socials, man.
Really should, because that is like,
that's
lost.
Like, I don't think I've seen anyone mention that image,
no.
Even at the time, right? I can't remember.
No. We didn't know who it was at the time.
Be on the media section at least as well, if it's not.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll grab that in a bit. So I believe we can make another miracle happen with Shenmue in these next 24 hours.
Okay, and go.
Play, yep. Here we are now, down to the final 24 hours in this 1 month campaign. There's Ming Ming as well. Here we are now, down to... always saying it again. Don't know why. Let's just say the same thing twice for you.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, you and I have a shared dream for the past 14 years. Now it's time to make our dream of Shenmue 3 a reality. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Shenmue 3. So yeah, I'm pretty surprised by that. That's a cool message. I don't even remember that message, to be honest.
But I tell you what, that image,
shot.
That was like, we're going to have to be, that's a hell of a fucking image. That was like, that's Dreamcast render, isn't it?
It is a Dreamcast render, yeah.
Wow.
Surely, right?
That's one for the socials. Oh dear.
So, and then it's just another update on the final hours of the Twitch broadcast. So yeah,
and that's
coming up soon. I think we should have a music break, Matt. So your next pick, Matt, your Shenmue 2 piece.
So my next pick is a interesting pick, and also for some people controversial in that it didn't quite sound as it should have done in the HD re-releases, but never mind. It is from Shenmue 2, and it is Queen Street in the Day.
And which one are we playing? Are we playing the re-releases one or the original then?
Well, I'd like to play the original if we've got it, but if not, we'll make do with what we got.
No, I've got it. Don't worry.
Years ago, I was Chinese.
Welcome back. That was Queen Street Day from Shenmue 2 on Dreamcast, of course. Right, so we're going to move into update 41 now. Let's try and smash through a few of these now.
Pick up the
they are
pace,
getting
if you
shorter,
will.
to be honest, anyway, yeah.
Yeah. So update 41, $39 digital upgrade and collector's Shenmue character bus. Here we are. So happy Shenmue to you. Here we go. The final rewards for the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter. This is absolutely your last chance to get these Kickstarter only rewards and help save Shenmue.
This was the last day, was it?
It was. So you get a digital upgrade. You get a Shenmue 3 wallpaper set. They will feature the real Dio, Rio, and short Sugar Shenhua. Perfect models of our heroes, as they always imagined to be, plus your name on the Shenmue 3 website, and includes the $29 reward, which was just the base digital game. Backers pledging at the $100 tier or above will have their name credited in the game. This reward will be included in all higher rewards, and then it comes on to the $2,500 character bus, which I know you have, a Landy.
I do.
Although it was outside of this, I will say
it's
that now.
Actually, that Landy in the picture as well.
It is. It's that one.
Literally that one, yeah.
So you get for $2,500, you get concept design models of the main characters produced for the development of Shenmue 1. They're important stepping stones in the design phase to make them as lifelike as possible. They were the first time the characters took shape, literally. Good condition with wear and discoloration from all loving hands. Well, we know that anyway.
Yeah.
Choose one. So there was 2 Rios, 4 Shenhua, 3 Ren, 3 Landy, first come, first serve, 12 of them in total, and you get the voice message by Corey Marshall as well. Coming onto the campaign again, it's the final hour's Twitch, which is repeated all the details at the bottom of the update. So that was a very quick update indeed.
Yeah, so just trying to think then, Matt, if this is the last day, what do you think they're thinking here by doing these little rewards? So obviously the digital upgrade, are they thinking they're going to get $10 from a lot of people extra?
I think it's just, let's smash as much money through as we can now.
Yeah.
Let's try and get people tempted. So people, that $10 jump between 29 and 39 is not much.
It's
people
not
go,
much.
Oh, do you know what? It's only $10. Sod it and chuck it in. And then people, like with that memorabilia, with those busts, know people will get excited and back, and then worry about it afterwards. And I think
that's 12.
They do. I think
12
it's very
times
tactical.
$2,500 is, well, 10 is
that? It's 30 grand, isn't it?
10 is 25. Yeah, 30 grand. Yeah, so a guaranteed extra 30 grand there.
That's a lot of money.
It just looks good, doesn't it? And I don't know if that had ever been mentioned before, that you need to have 100 tier or above to get your name in the credits. So that could have incentivized like a lot of people to.
Yeah, I think that was very, very clever as well.
Yeah. Very good, very good. Nice little boost towards the end of the Kickstarter. So 42 update. Again, it just looks like another repeat of the Twitch schedule. This final Twitch stream that we're not going to watch in the show, but I do think we should watch in the future, because I think it's going to be quite interesting sitting down with Yu Suzuki and Kenji Miyawaki.
Definitely be up for watching that again.
But yeah, it just says good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. As we announced, Yu Suzuki himself and other project members will be appearing on Twitch again to celebrate the final hours of the Kickstarter project. So yeah, get yourself on there.
That was a nice short update. So then it brings us in a few days later to update number 43, which is a thank you from Yu Suzuki.
And actually, Matt, on the update to the Kickstarter, there's a nice little green box.
Yes, I'll find it.
I was going to send you the image of this. I don't want to miss this, because this is nice. You got it, yeah?
Yeah, got it here. Project fund successfully. 69,320 backers pledged $6,333,295.
Nice.
There we are. There we go, indeed.
Cool.
So on to update 43. Thank you from Yu Suzuki. On July 17th, the Kickstarter campaign for Shenmue 3 Dojo Show finished. Because of you, the backers and the fans, Shenmue 3 set the Guinness World Record for the fastest game to reach $1 million, passed the funding goal of $2 million in just 8.5 hours, and set the record for video games on Kickstarter, and became the 6th most funded project Kickstarter on all time, collecting $6.33 million. Absolutely insane. Had, I think, certain things gone its way, I think a lot of people reckon it would have broken 10 million. It is what it is.
I wonder where that ranks now.
Oh, I don't think it's changed much, actually. I don't think it's changed much, and Kickstarter sort of dropped off a little bit in that regard in terms of the high profile stuff.
You
I think
carry
it's
on reading,
probably...
and I'll see if I can find the rankings.
Yeah, all right, quality. All this was accomplished with your efforts through the illustrations you drew, the videos you produced, and all that you did through the campaign. I could not help but feel deep love that you have for Shenmue. Even after 14 years have gone by, to see this outpouring support is something only as a creator can dream of. And there we no better feeling what you've given me, and I will be eternally grateful. We've just started getting into development. As we move ahead, I will listen to all of you to make Shenmue 3 even better. I thank you again for all of your support and wholeheartedly look forward to the rest of the journey together. And that's a message from Yu Suzuki, and then it's just translated in Japanese with a photo at the bottom as well. So again, quite a short update, but poignant update, I think is the term I would use for that one.
30. If this listing is in like funding amount order, which I've just linked you on Discord, Shenmue 3 is 30th according to this.
Really? I think it couldn't have dropped down that much, surely.
Because this was Shenmue all categories, projects on Earth sorted by most funding. I mean, if you went for video games...
do you know, it has dropped out because it's there's been a few that since then have...
If you put it by video games, it's still the top one.
So it's still the top video game of all time on Kickstarter, which is absolutely mental. I've got a list here from the crowdfunding formula, and I'm just going through it now. I mean, there's lots of all random things here, like board games, like smartwatches, all sorts of things. Just going down a bit further.
It's 13th in games in the games category. That's including board games and stuff.
Yeah, so that's
pretty good.
It's definitely out the top 15 now.
But there's so many projects. You've got to think like over the last 8 years.
I think it's still a credit that it's still the highest funded video game of all time on Kickstarter, and it still holds the record for
massive,
the quickest $1 million and everything else. That's never been broken, and that just shows, I think, quite how the strength behind this thing.
For sure, man.
But there we go.
Right, update 44. So we've got a progress interview with Yu Suzuki. So this is, just get the date on this now. So August 31st. And let's see what is the difference between... So the thank you message was on July the 22nd.
So you're looking at, what, 5 weeks, something like that?
Yeah, did it end on July the 17th by the looks of it? Or 18th
so you've got that
something.
Sort of 6 week gap.
July, August, yeah. So the end of August, we got a bit of an interview with the progress so far. It says, hello backers, it's been a while since our last post here on the updates section. I think we should start reading the dates actually, just to get a gauge on the distance between updates here. So sorry everyone, we are sure many of your concerns right now boil to how is Shenmue 3 moving along, which is quite a strange sort of question to be saying after 5 weeks, right?
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, people are already asking, but I guess so, and they've already got a progress update. So today we have a brief interview with Yu Suzuki about the progress of the project and future plans. Without further chatter, here we go. So, how is the production progress going? And Yu Suzuki's got a bit of a diagram here, Matt, so please take a look at the diagram. So far, we've finished the composition, story, planning, and the game flow. We'll be advancing to the next development step soon. So this is interesting. So let's see. So Shenmue 3 development progress. So he's got like a flow chart here. It goes start, and then composition, stages, 4 big bosses, solution of a mystery.
I wonder if that's... I mean, I don't know if that's overall story composition for Shenmue or Shenmue 3 itself, but 4 big bosses, so you all automatically go to the GMN, wouldn't you?
You do, but then maybe there is 4 big bosses when you think about it, because you've got Yang Lang, Gay, or whatever his name is, Mr. G, and then Landy and Niaosun, possibly.
Yeah,
it could be considered that.
True.
I know you do fight Landy, so that could be considered a boss fight. And then, is there any other kind of major boss?
No, I think that's probably it.
So there's like 3. So maybe they were planning a 4th one in Baisha, perhaps. As well,
quite possibly.
Story, outline of the story, planning, Shenmue 3 project plan, game flow, placing real-time renders, events, battles, and quests in order. And then we've got a lot of question marks down to debug, which is bug fix, tuning, and end. So that's sort of the progress that they were sort of adhering to when creating the game. Can you tell us more about the composition stage? So Shenmue 3 is based on the 11 chapters created 17 years ago, and each chapter is set in different regions. For example, the first chapter was set in Yokosuka, second was set in Hong Kong, and so on. However, we cannot finish with just one chapter in one region, so I had to restructure the story to fit within the scope of Shenmue 3. Is it... Obviously, you can't expect to put all the remaining 11 chapters in Shenmue 3. He's not saying that, as he's just
no.
means...
No. I think he's sort of having to change things up a little bit. When you think of the chapter titles, like, for example, there's that one with the train that's disappeared. So it's probably stuff like that they've gone and got rid of, or done whatever they need to do with it.
See if there was any wording that might be why people thought it was going to be a trilogy or something, but still not.
I don't get it from that. Put it that way.
What is the story stage about? So he says we had to rethink the storyline to make a more coherent flow, such as writing additional stories and making other changes. That's kind of what you just said. What about the planning stage? What is going on in this part? So since we now know the amount of funding from Kickstarter, we can plan the overall budget for development. So I have mapped out the game project to fit that budget scope at this stage. And obviously that's going to change in the future, right, Matt? Because you've got the PayPal a little bit, and then obviously when these investors come along too.
It's hard, isn't it?
Because
then you've got to replan and rescope, and that takes time.
He says, after the plan is written and ready, what happens in game flow stage? Yu Suzuki says, it's about placing various cutscenes, events, battles, and quests in order. We've just finished the stage a few days ago, and we will be working on the actual game development now. What other plans will be upcoming? I will promise that I'll be updating you about the progress of the development at least once a month. This is what we have for now. Is there anything big coming up on your schedule? He says, I'm thinking about seeing the 2015 Tokyo Game Show, which will be held in September. Also, I'm planning to travel to China this October to both attend a game show called Chupax 2015 and also to do some location scouting for Shenmue 3's development. So that's probably when we saw those photos of him standing outside the Tulu building one time.
And we definitely got an update to that effect, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think a little bit later. Lastly, do you have any stories you could give that occurred during development so far? He says, one night I went to a Thai restaurant with the development team. After work at that restaurant, a man approached me and asked to shake hands. He said he was a fan, and we had a brief talk. He also happened to be in the game industry, and we began to hit it off. We talked some more to find out he really knew his job. And on top of that, he was an exceptionally good person. I was so impressed I asked him to help with the development. I couldn't help but feel Shenmue's unique gravity to bring interesting things together. I wonder who that was.
I know.
Is working on the team. That's all for now, everyone. So stay tuned to this update section for more news in future posts. Wataru, and that's the blue shirt guy from Twitch who wrote that bit of an interview there, and a nice little bit of artwork.
Sketch. Yeah, that's cool. And then it's the Japanese below
hard at
that
work
as well. Good.
Anything at the bottom?
Nope.
Good stuff.
So we then move into update 45. This is quite a big update, actually. And we talked about this prior in terms of there was a demand for PayPal to come on board and the Slacker Backer campaign. And this is the update that does it. So update 45, September the 17th, 2015. And it stayed open for a long time, the Slacker Backer, didn't it? I don't remember when it shut, but it was a good few years it stayed open.
Years, yeah. I kind of wish I saved up a bit more money, man.
Yeah, chuck more money at it. Now it'd been different. I'd probably wasted a lot of money.
I'd have kept going on there. Yeah,
it wouldn't have been a waste, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
One more chance to make history with Shenmue 3. Hello, everyone. Thanks to your support, Shenmue 3 became the most funded video game on Kickstarter. Thank you for bringing it back to life. However, as many people told us they could not pledge on Kickstarter, could not make the deadline, and have asked for a PayPal page or another opportunity to contribute to Shenmue 3. So here we go. The Slacker period will continue through December 31st. So it was only going to be open for a few months, while the full game will be completed as promised with the funding on Kickstarter. Any additional funding collected here will go towards reaching the stretch goals to make the game even bigger. A 3-month window was set to allow us long enough time to everybody's support, but short enough to keep the release date on track. It was open nearly 3 years or longer.
Was it?
Yeah,
not 3 months. No, I can't remember to be honest. But
it was open. But I'm sure it was open about 3 years, maybe longer. The PayPal page will feature a selection of rewards from the Kickstarter campaign, including the trial version, collector's edition. You missed out on the Kickstarter, you still have a chance to be part of this. I remember there's some people kicking off about that.
Yeah.
It should have been exclusive to Kickstarter.
Exclusive rewards.
Yeah, it's a bit. But then you got some exclusive rewards here, like the T-shirt was different.
T-shirt was exclusive. Not the sleeve, actually. I was going to say the back sleeve. That was different anyway. I wanted it for PC and whatnot, but there was some slight differences, yeah, for sure.
Interesting. So you got surveys, add-on, and upgrades. Not quite ready yet, but they'll be out during the Slack backer campaign. Once surveys is up and running, add-ons and upgrades will be available for existing Kickstarter backers. I don't know if that happened. I know we got an upgrade. We got an upgrade system through Fangamer.
Yeah.
Towards the end of it, but I don't think we got
the surveys were much later, right? I feel like
2018, I want to say, but I could be wrong. Possibly. And then you've got a link to the PayPal Slacker backer site. An interesting render there of the model of Shenhua, which actually looks quite good there.
I quite like that model, actually. Yeah,
I didn't mind that model. And then Rio's render from the Dreamcast. Clearly, they didn't like Roy. Poor Roy. Let's have a quick look at the PayPal link.
It's not private. It says this connection's private. At least through Mac, I had to accept it to go through.
I've had to accept it to go through. It's because it's apparently not safe.
We did get like an extra 12.
There you go.
20.
There you go.
What did we get?
It closed. You got about what?
Another 12,000 backers.
Something like another 12,000 backers. Quite a lot. Normally, nearly $1 million more. About $800,000 more, and it was open until October the 20th, 2018. So 3 months. Yeah, try 3 years.
Dude, if I'd have known it was going to be 3 years, I would have saved up for this bloody Crystal Memories thing.
Yeah, you'd have
1,900, especially now. If things were different, because back then I was like very, very tight and like.
Yeah, well,
I've just become like I don't have the money now, mate, but I've become such a Shenmue collecting madhead that. Honestly, I would have found the money for the jacket and the Crystal Memories.
Here's something interesting, because I'm through the rewards for the video, and they had a first for figure Yu Suzuki's own collection, autographed first for figures Ryo Hazuki exclusive, limited to one.
$600 as well. It's not too bad these days, is it?
I'd have gone for that.
Yeah. At the time, that was like. Quite pricey for the figure because I think obviously the figure had not long been out. I think the figure was 2015, right?
It's a couple £100, wasn't it?
Possibly.
It wasn't a lot of money.
Yeah.
$1,900. You got the Crystal Memories.
I want it.
You got the jacket.
I want that as well.
Then you got like the full Memories one. Then you got the replica jacket at $3,000. You got the Rio's watch here. So the $5,000. You got the watch and all the rewards.
Someone bought that. Here, didn't they? And someone actually bought the jacket. It's like a famous guy one at the bottom
as well. And then you've got all the stretch goals at the bottom. So yeah, it definitely had a purpose and served a purpose really well. I'm glad it still exists actually, because that's
nice
interesting to see it's still there. But yeah, that is update 45. Again, they're quite short and sharp now, these updates.
Yeah,
but
we should archive some of that website, I think. If
we
possible.
should.
Okay, update 46, message reply system outage. Hello everyone, we currently experience a technical malfunction with the Kickstarter messaging service. We can't confirm if our replies are getting back to you, and we are also not receiving your messages, but we can still be reached at info@shenmue.link. Not sure if they still check that.
No idea.
If you sent us a message last 24 hours, not received a response, just basically just saying you send it again.
Yeah.
Nice, brief, short message.
Short, sweet, and to the point. So... Update 47 on October 30th, 2015 is month 3 progress report. It just says in the 3rd month of development of Shenmue 3, the story and scenario is now out of the planning stage. It's time to get people and places and things fitting together into the world with dimension, space, etc. So they've entered into map testing, which is essentially the major work being done as map testing. It will define the areas they're going to use. They're not too big, they're not too small. They get to that Goldilocks zone. I like that term. Which consists of looking at the layout of space, experimenting to make alterations. For example, an outside area may feel too open. They reduce the space and the number of people by 20%, and then increase it and decrease it, essentially work it out to get the density right. All elements in the following screenshot are still in testing. Objects being used are placeholders, like the Men in Black suits, and Ryo is also an older model. Backgrounds and buildings are still in development stage and still reworking. Shots for the battle scenes were taken at an angle to avoid spoilers as much as possible. So you've got a battle test here with a black suit, which is interesting. Looks like an old sort of building. Then you've got it outside in what looks like to be a Tulu.
Does look like a Tulu.
Circular sort of building in the background. The rear model doesn't look too bad there, in my opinion, either. But
Yeah.
you've got a conversation testing scene in some looks like really beat up type
Very
area, doesn't
horror
it?
film. Well,
Yeah,
horror
doesn't it?
games,
Doesn't it?
Silent Hill a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, it does.
Makes you wonder if it's Baisha, something they were working on in
Could be.
Baisha, perhaps.
Could be. You've then got a thatched roof house test model. So this is obviously an early sort of Bailu village type model, and they don't look too dissimilar to that in the game themselves. Actually, look quite good. Development team in high spirits. They've reached a stage where they're finally to start testing. It's become a quite lively place, even on Saturdays. Some of them, you can't fault them for that.
No.
I look forward to continued support. Surveys still in the works, not ready to be sent out yet. Survey system is up. There will be an update on the Kickstarter page, and it will be announced on Twitter at Shenmue_3. We hope to have them out as soon as possible. Community interview and update pack. Big thanks as everywhere to fans continue to spread good at Shenmue. For this Halloween edition update, Ambassador Ali has put together a community update pack featuring Yu Suzuki interview and plenty of treats from the Shenmue community to jumpstart your Halloween enjoy. So let's see if I can get this open.
You can.
There we are.
So there's a community interview
from October the 30th, 2015. Via the Kickstarter page. So this is from Tokyo Game Show.
And
TGS
it was a
joint interview with Team U, Ali, Shenmue 500K,
Shenmue Dojo
and a Shenmue Dojo as well. So I'll go through it very quickly.
Yeah, it's
so
only a shortish one, actually.
Yeah. How has the revival of Shenmue after 14 years affected you personally, your outlook on life? It's quite deep. Continued support has been heartwarming, and the videos over the 14 years have been some of the most moving experiences of my life. As a game designer, I couldn't be more proud. Shenmue Dojo asks, what will we be seeing any aspects of Shenmue Online in Shenmue 3 and what exactly? We do not expect to. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
We consider Shenmue 3 a sequel to the Shenmue series in the purest respect. I maintain some of that stuff's canon. I stand by it.
I do, mate.
Time.
Maybe Shenmue 5.
Yeah. There is a cinema in the game called New Yokosuka. Was there any time during development to make this cinema accessible to players? Yu Suzuki, honestly, I don't remember since I made the game around 17 years ago. We did make a theatre. I think someone naturally requested being able to enter it.
Okay.
Shenmue 500K. You've made many of our favourite classic games of all time. Which of these would you like to revisit if given the license by Sega? This is interesting.
Nice.
Space Harrier in VR would make it for a very fun game.
Ooh, Air Twister,
about
mate.
VR. Yeah, very true.
Air Twister update.
And it's interesting he's thinking about VR back then.
Yeah, back in 2015.
Bit ahead of the curve there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Question 5. Game development has become more and more of a chosen career path. Do you have any words of advice for aspiring game developers? Usually comes back and says that with great tools like Unity and Unreal, people can make games for free. They can now easily turn their game ideas into actuality. Game creation has also finally become easy to understand with how-to guides. Anyone can readily experience what it is like to make games. Please make best use of the environment and challenge yourself to make games. Shenmue Master asked a question as well. This is a big community interview.
Nice.
Shenmue Legacy, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Shenmue Master asks, has the song The Young Man from the East, composed by Joe Hiyashi, appreciated and respected artist in France, been an inspiration for Shenmue and its poem? And it recites the poem, and usually comes back and says, no, it's incorrect. Okay.
Interesting.
Question 7. Rio and Shenhua's destiny are deeply linked. Shenhua appears in Rio's dreams before they meet in Guilin. How is it possible? It was to foreshadow their intertwined destiny and fate. Shenmue Legacy asks, why do fans love the Shenmue series so much? And he says, by focusing on nostalgia and the ordinary, Shenmue creates a window to Japanese and Chinese culture. Its allure is using a theme we share worldwide, family and friends, to learn about a completely different culture. I believe people from various cultures became interested because the series shows us cultural differences through the ordinary and familiar. And I get that. I can completely understand that.
Yeah.
And here we go. The last question is from Ali. And it's, would you like to send a special message to the Shenmue community at this point? Thank you for supporting Shenmue over the past decade. It was thanks to you that we were able to break a record on Kickstarter. I'm so grateful the Shenmue 3 project became a reality. I will do my best to make an even better game. Thank you for your continued support. Questions collected by Shenmue Ambassador Ali and translated by Nick San. Again, this might be something we need to archive as well, I would expect.
Before it goes off.
Yeah.
A little bit more further down as well.
Part 2 after interview pictures. Yeah, I completely missed that.
That must be Nick's on there.
Must be. Yeah, it is. With the game.
Right.
Signed copy. Look at that Neo-san cover art.
I've seen that recently.
I've seen that recently.
Because I was thinking of doing a bookmark.
It was a illustration by Johnny Quinn, freelance illustrator.
Cool.
Oh, it's telling me off now for being on there too long, so I can't go any further. Yeah, I have to come back to nicking some of that. I'll come back to it, but there's a little bit more down there which I will add into the video as people.
Can you just refresh?
Let me give it a go. It might tell me off. No,
it worked for a second and then yeah, that's daft, isn't it? Bloody Tumblr.
Anyway, bloody Tumblr, but I'll find a way around it. So there we go. It's quite a big update in the end, but a nice one all the same. We need to archive that as best we can.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, here we are. You're on to update 48.
48 is the Chupax Expo review and PayPal rewards poll. Greetings, backers. There are 2 items on the agenda today. The first is a question for you regarding the availability of Kickstarter rewards and PayPal, and the second is a recap of Mr. Yu Suzuki's lecture at Chupax Expo. So, Kickstarter rewards on PayPal. Rewards are labelled as Kickstarter exclusive, have not been offered on the PayPal site because we felt it was unfair to offer them after the Kickstarter had ended. There had been many requests, however, for certain rewards like the Shenmue 3 World Telecom to be offered on the PayPal site. We would like everyone to weigh in and tell us what you think. If there is a strong consensus either way, the rewards will remain as Kickstarter exclusive or will be offered on the PayPal site. Keeping our promise to you is very important to us, but at the same time, the PayPal site was set up precisely because fans could not back the Kickstarter and they feel they should not be penalised for that. We have tweeted a poll. Can you vote on the question? Please let us know what you think. We got the results of that, actually?
Let me get it up. Yes, we do. So it was an overwhelming yes. 67% voted in favour of putting the rewards on to the PayPal backers. 16.8% said no. 16.1% said don't care.
Yeah, which is basically they're okay with it kind of a thing, isn't it, if you're indifferent. Totals to about 85% maybe.
Yeah, so it was overwhelming.
Pretty much overwhelming. And I think they did in the end, right? Or did they not?
They did.
In
the end.
They did. Okay, cool. So we have an abridged version of Mr. Suzuki's talk at Chupax. Hello everyone. As you know, I have recently spent a little time in China to promote and do research for Shenmue 3. I was able to give a presentation at the Chupax 2015 on the beginning of how I first started making Shenmue, the changing of the times along with the changes in technology and the workflow of Shenmue 3's production. I would like to share a portion of that presentation with you here. Looks a bit very similar to his GDC talk, innit?
It does a bit, does it? It's set up the same way.
Yeah, very cool though. So Shenmue 3, the backdrop of Shenmue 3 is China, the mystical world that is Guilin, and the beautiful dress of the ethnic population are some of the facets of China that I really want to portray. You've got the Miao sort of headdress people there.
Yeah.
Open world. I thought it would also be exciting to recreate the riverside towns reminiscent of Kowloon City. So that little village there was that Feng
Huang or something, isn't it?
Feng Huang, that's the one, yeah,
That's
the Phoenix town. So basically confirms that as a Niawu, in a sense.
Yeah.
Martial arts. The captivating traditional martial arts of China are another facet I wanted to incorporate into the game. Got a nice picture there of Shenhua.
Got Sunflower Grove there, actually, as an early development concept.
Yeah, and then the right part is mirrored for some reason. Like they wanted to make it slightly longer for some reason. So this workflow has actually been changed slightly. So now we've got composition, story composition, Chiyu Men leader arrangement, plot mystery, explicitation. What's that mean?
I have no idea.
Story summary, planning routine, outline, game flow, that was the same, but now they've added this function testing in Unreal 4. So we've got the movement speed, walking, running, map construction, backgrounds, houses, character arrangement, and view angle finalization, conversation system, voiceroid, embedding testing, authoring, quest and event mockups, story steps, lip syncing, conversation camera, motion capture, and other function tests. Then we've got GDD, which is game design document creation, TDD, which is technical design document creation, production, which is the main production, debugging, and ends. That's the general workflow. Sounds pretty intense, to be honest.
A lot of work, isn't it, there?
Yeah. So he actually says there are 11 chapters that make up the story of Shenmue, and those chapters are the basis for the games. Shenmue 1 comprised of Chapter 1, Shenmue 2 focused mainly on Chapter 2 but also incorporated parts of 4 and 5. The composition for Shenmue 3 has been finalised and will begin with Chapter 5 as the continuation of Shenmue 2 to move on past Chapter 6. So that is very interesting, actually, reading that.
We are, isn't it?
When we've speculated from the tiles, like 5 is the forest with Shenmue into that image.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then 6 is definitely what we looked like now we were the people, so that makes sense now. So they finalised it as 5 and 6. The story has been written to align with the structure, and the planning for the game elements that will go along with the story have been completed. This project was conceived to be scalable since the game would necessarily need to be adjusted based on the Kickstarter. Once the Kickstarter was complete and the budget for the project determined, a detailed workflow was produced to fit within those constraints. Following along with the game workflow, we have now begun our baseline research work with Unreal 4. I find this to be the most exciting phase of the game development. Having completed the baseline research, we will then move on to the GDD, game design document, and TDD processes. Once these steps have been completed, actual production will begin.
Before we move down, I'm going to make a point in saying here that he's very clear that it's going to be chapters 5 and 6. So again, there was no talk of Shenmue 3 finishing it.
Exactly. So when you've got 11 chapters and we haven't even seen anything past 6, he's basically saying that you still need 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's still 5 chapters at least beyond Shenmue 3. And that's without him going back to the cut chapter of 3 and 4, right? You know.
Exactly. So there we are.
Plenty to get with. And I'll just say this was December the 3rd, this update.
2015. So it's quite a long time.
5 months development.
Yeah. It's just,
at this point. Getting there. So we've got some scenes of the prototype here. So the forest in Shenmue 2 was created using the Magic Maze system with Unreal 4, where the changes in forest density will be improved. So it's pretty cool actually seeing the update and graphics from one to the next. Rooms again. Test model room within Unreal 4. Shadow resembling Ini-san is present. I remember that. People picked up on that, didn't they, in the doorway?
Yeah, I remember that.
Why do you suppose that is? I don't know you, son. Why?
Maybe he was thinking of having sort of proper cutscene, like flashbacks, properly.
How you reckon? Like the dojo or something?
Yeah, it would have been cool, wouldn't it?
That would have been cool. And then we got the battle. So the basic systems have been put in place, and we're currently testing the destruction when objects break, and that's cool. That's kind of what you mentioned in the Golden Goose.
Yeah.
And high ground environmental interactivity effects. Unlike the development from 15 years earlier, we have assets already available to us, and we are in an era where we can create prototypes even without a programmer. Programs, artwork, and planning have become more closely related, realizing a new type of workflow for a new age. This new workflow utilizes both game engines, which used to be very expensive, and allows for work to be done on a more open individual basis. I hope this will lead to everyone more fully enjoying their work. And that concludes today's update. I hope you will all continue to follow along with us through the process. Thank you very much. So looking at the game here, Matt, this early stage, if they never got the extra funding from Deep Silver, Epic Games and all that sort of stuff that sort of extended the period of time, do you think the game would have actually looked like it did in these, or are these still early concept sort of?
I think these are still very early concepts, aren't they? I don't think we'd have been too far. I think the final product would have been the 2017 trailer-ish in terms of the final product.
Is that like the Dead Eyesy stuff, is it?
Yeah, although I think they'd have, because we know they took the animations out for that trailer. I don't know why.
Yeah, they would have fixed that or whatever.
They'd have fixed that, but I think we'd have got something sort of loosely resembling that. So that money was obviously vital. I think he always had in his head that he wanted extra funding through publishers, etc. This is almost to prove a market for Shenmue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then a publisher came on board. But yeah, it's very interesting that they were like experimenting with Magic Maze, the rooms, all those sorts of things as well. from a very early point. It's quite an interesting update, actually, that one.
Yeah, I like that one.
Gives a lot of information that I completely and utterly forgotten about.
Yeah. Okay. And then we're moving into Christmas Eve now.
Yep. Update 49, Christmas Eve. Reward poll redo, Slacker Backer extension, and Guinness World Record. So this is the first extension of the Slacker Backer for 3 years. Season's greetings, everybody. Here we are. The last very important announcements for the magical year. It was 2015 comes to a close. There's a nice little bit of artwork there, actually, with Shenhua.
Santa
with Christmas. Outfit. Christmas outfit. They made a habit of doing these every year, actually, during the Kickstarter, and then until release. They always did like Christmassy ones. They were quite cool. Last important updates. Reward poll redo. So they've redone it. There are many against the use of Twitter for the poll. They don't have a Twitter account also because it's been made available to Kickstarter backers. True. So they basically redid it. There was an update following this one. So we'll have a look at that shortly. Okay. PayPal period extension. So why bother this when there's only a few days left? It's because the deadline has been extended. Many of you have asked for an extension. We've been late in coming up with the promised add-on and upgrade system, so that's why they've done it. And then you had the Guinness World Record presentation. It's official now. The good people from Guinness World Records paid Wisnet and Mr. Suzuki a visit a few days ago to hold an impromptu ceremony and present the certificates for the most money pledged for a Kickstarter video game and the fastest $1 million crowdfunded video game at 1 hour 44 minutes. And there's a photo with his certificates there as well.
Amazing.
And that is the end of that update. So again, it's quite a short, snappy update again.
I like it. I like seeing that photo there with the 2 certificates.
I may as well take the next one, James, as well, because it's only 3 lines.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know how there was always a missing email? Is this because this was like probably the only backers only one?
Possible. I can't remember what update it was. It went missing.
I can't remember.
One definitely went missing. I've got them all in my email somewhere.
Yeah.
Be this one. So very short. Update 50 is the rewards and PayPal question link. They send the link through SurveyMonkey, and thank you for your participation. I click the link just for the benefit of it, and they can't find the page anymore. It doesn't work.
I'm sure we'll get the results in a later update, but yeah.
So there we are.
That was update 50. Right, we're going to have a quick music break before we go into the last chunk. We're going to try and get to update 60, I think.
Yeah.
So this is my Shenmue 3 piece now. So quite fitting, we're moving into the Shenmue 3 era of music of our choices here, and I've picked a song that's titled, at least on Spotify and Apple Music or whatever, the official name for the song is PEDDLER.
You like me that much? Let me invite you to hell.
Welcome back. That was PEDDLER from Shenmue 3. So, update 51. Happy New Year. So this is posted on January the 4th, 2016.
I love that artwork.
We've got some really cool animated GIF of...
and they are the chibi characters that you end up getting as the Kickstarter backer rewards.
Very, very true, yeah. And also the capsule toy figures.
Yeah.
In game as well look like that.
I love that. I love that.
You've got Rio on the forklift, Chai and Shenhua dancing. And then, other things around there. You've got like a cherry blossom flower, I think.
Yeah.
A monkey for some reason.
The
Fish.
2016 wine.
Oh, is it the year of the monkey, was it?
It might have been. It might have been. I don't know.
Or the year of the fish, I don't know. Happy New Year. Thanks to Shenmue fans everywhere. 2015 saw the start of Shenmue 3. 2016 will be a year with noses to the grindstone to make the next installment of Shenmue worthy of the expectations you have entrusted us with. We would like to ask you again for your support and cooperation for all that lay ahead this year. There are 2 announcements. For the first update of 2016, we got the poll results, which was just aforementioned before the song there. For the exclusive rewards on PayPal, what the decision is, I assume. And the homepage gets a facelift. So the poll results. The results are in for the poll posted in the final update of last year, asking whether or not Kickstarter exclusive rewards should be made available for the Slacker Backer PayPal campaign. The polling period lasted from December the 24th to January the 1st. All Kickstarter backers who pledged for a reward of $5 or more were eligible to vote. And of the 68,533 eligible Kickstarter backers, there were 15,110 respondents. So the poll results are posted below. 4,670 of the respondents answered yes, please make the Kickstarter exclusive rewards available on PayPal. 4,009 answered no, Kickstarter exclusive rewards are for Kickstarter only, and 6,432 answered either is fine with me. Considering the strong response from those of you that felt that the Kickstarter rewards should remain exclusive for the Kickstarter, those exclusive rewards will not be made available on the PayPal page as originally promised. Thank you for your participation. We hope everyone will continue to let their voices be heard as we go forward.
Anyway, but I could be
I
wrong.
do remember, only because I remember a bit of a backlash, and also there was a few media outlets that sort of confused the wording, whether they did it deliberately or not.
I remember.
To sort of suggest that PayPal backers weren't going to get any rewards. Remember?
Yeah, I do remember that. And then we covered it.
Because we did that Kickstarter episode, didn't we? Where we were like, that was it. They specifically said the Kickstarter exclusive rewards, not any reward.
Yeah, it was very interestingly worded, some of that media coverage, but again, they probably didn't help themselves with the communication, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and then right at the bottom there, Shenmue 3 official website has undergone a renovation. The site has been updated as of January the 4th. The Kickstarter updates will continue to be posted here, along with Shenmue news and development progress reports. And I think the site looks how it just links to how it looks now anyway.
Yeah, you have to go through the whole it's not secure thing again.
So you probably have to go like Wayback Machine to see the how it looked originally.
Yeah, you'd have to, but it's still there and live. I mean, I don't know who's funding the page to keep it online, but fair play to whoever is doing that, because I had...
How much would that cost? Would that just be like what we're paying now, monthly?
I
that kind of thing?
It could be on some cheap hosting platform or something, I guess, because it's not going to be... particularly, no one's really visiting it, are they, I guess? So but there we go. So that's that update. So then we come in, now we're getting to some juicy stuff. So this is update 52, and it is Magic in Monaco, dated February 27th, 2016. So this is where the Magic Monaco stuff started. So all the trips to Monaco, this is where it all began. So Shibuya Productions is holding the Monaco Anime Game International Conferences, Magic, where Yu Suzuki is giving a presentation on Shenmue 3, and he did it every year up to release. I wish I went to more of them. 2019 was amazing.
Same.
It was amazing, but I wish I went to more of them. Work in progress, and here's some images. So you got Shenhua walking through a dark forest. You've got like a pumpkin patch with Shenhua in the middle of it. Looks very nice. It looks quite rustic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You got what looks like to be sort of an early rendition of somewhere outside the village square.
It's very much still like what we got, but
It's not too
a little bit
different.
less.
It looks.
And Shenhua's in a original outfit, which
Yeah.
was nice to see.
I really think they should have kept that, but that is what it is.
They should have kept that. Yeah.
You got Shenhua's house, the Shenmue
Mhm.
tree. What I'm guessing is inside Shenhua's house as well.
Which is again, it's like how it used to be.
Yeah, it's.
They recreated it again for some reason.
I don't know why, because that's like pretty much very. It's not far off what it would have been in Shenmue 2, isn't it?
Even the little chairs and everything there, I kind of wish they'd have kept that. I really don't understand. That would be one of my questions. That would in an interview, like, why did you change?
I'd love to
Shenhua's
ask. I'd love
house,
to ask in like a post-mortem.
make it more modern. Why did you add electric? Why did you have an oven, fridge, an extra room? There's just some things that just don't really make sense, considering they've got a screenshot here of they've already made it.
Yeah,
So I don't know why they've remade it.
I don't know why. Couldn't tell you. So there's more information on Magic. You can visit their website. And then one of the rewards during the campaign was for dinner and Shenmue 3 planning meet with you in Monaco.
Yep.
It's that weekend in the neighbouring city of Eze. What exactly will get planned at the meeting? Well, you have to wait and find out. Wish our backers good luck as they head into the most important meeting of their lives, or maybe at least of the weekend. And then you've got the Slacker Backer campaign link at the bottom. I like the images though; they're cool. Definitely.
I like those images. Yeah,
definitely some really nice images there.
Those were like some of the first images where we were like really
getting pumped,
getting pumped.
Yeah, getting like
really nice looking.
There we go.
For sure. Right, update 53. Greetings to China. Hello everyone, we've got news for you today. We are launching the official Shenmue 3 Chinese language website, which will continue crowdfunding with the addition of Alipay. Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Huh.
Alipay. Okay.
I have heard of it, but yeah.
Yeah. Since the launch of the Slackerbacker campaign, we have received numerous messages from enthusiastic Chinese fans to add Alipay. Oh, so I think it's probably just instead of PayPal, there's an option to pay with Alipay. So I wonder if that contributed to the Slackerbacker total, or is this a separate?
It would have done. I think it all went in the same pot.
I reckon it all went into that sort of thing, yeah. You said it and we listened, so we are pleased to announce the long-awaited Alipay support for Slackerbacker campaign starting today. In addition to that, the website will have Chinese language support, making our website easier for Chinese speakers to use. The contribution through Alipay will also be counted towards the stretch goal. Be sure to check it out. You can access the Slackerbacker campaign from here. Wonder if this is the same one or is this the Chinese version? Your comments and feedback is what keeps on improving the Shenmue 3 project. Keep them coming.
Let me try it quickly.
Looks like the same to me, but there is a button actually at the top right in the Chinese.
Yes, so they obviously added that on. So
that's the language option.
Yeah, fine. So there we go. So that covers that one quite nicely. Again, it's quite short and sharp. They get to that point a little bit here, where it's quite short and sharp. But the next update 54, is a bit longer.
March the 29th.
Yeah, March 29th, 2016. So they are quite consistent in pumping these updates out at this point, which I find quite interesting to later on when the updates, I think, became a bit less as things were sort of heading in with publishers and things. But we'll get there in probably in a couple of podcast episodes because there's quite a lot to get through. So, motion capture and care packages. Hello everyone, the season of cherry blossoms is here as the flowers bloom and rain their pink petals across Japan. Shenmue 3 turns forward, making progress and new friends. The moves. The first big news is the motion capture system testing has begun and they've got some pictures there. And you can blatantly see, for anybody who keeps moaning, is that it was all captured in Wisenet's office. They've literally moved furniture, put the arrows down and done it.
Yeah. Well, you just kick the fax machine.
Yeah, sure. It doesn't look too far away, does it?
It doesn't look too far, no.
But it's called X-Sense, the system. It's interesting.
Okay.
And I know they were worried about breaking it with throw moves.
Is this the one they borrowed or something?
Yeah,
right?
They hired it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see the guy doing it, and then you can see the screen capture below.
Especially if they're throwing people around in that room.
Oh, you break your legs.
Do that, would you?
Break your back or something, because that's not set up for throws. So again, they're obviously worried about breaking equipment. They're also probably worried about breaking themselves, quite frankly. And you got
limited space.
It's difficult, isn't it, when you haven't got access to a fully mocap studio? Sega, why don't you help them? Anyway.
Yeah.
then you've got some more images of the punches being thrown, sort of the mocap coming, so that's really cool. They got some mail shots here, which I think some of these are really cool. I want to thank everybody for the constant support. It's always a pleasure to get your messages of encouragement and to see the community growing ever larger. The mail have been overflowing lately, and they'd like to share some of it with you. So you've got
No way, man.
Shenmue 3 Baji Quan Grandmaster Wu Li Zi. That's really cool.
That's that Wulin Shu guy, isn't it?
Yeah, I love
he's,
that.
He's
that's brilliant.
An old friend from his journey, and that's who we met actually on that China research trip.
So cool. So cool.
Nice that they still stay in contact.
Like they're friends for life, aren't they? Which is really
definitely.
cool. You know, Shenmue makes friends for life and changes people's directions. There you go, another example of it. Embroidery of the Shenmue tree with swing. That's really cool as well, actually. That must have taken ages to do that. You got Guilin Cormorant fishermen on their boat, clothing of the Ming era. That's quite cool.
Nice.
I like that. Watercolor of Rio and a wow. That is insane.
That is amazing. I've seen that again recently, actually.
Bronzy
artwork.
2015. I'd love a proper like scanner of that. That'd be amazing. Yeah, it'd be awesome for magazine, wouldn't it? That'd be absolutely brilliant. Friendship picture, the inscribed character meets friends. Lots of fans took photos for it. I don't know who coordinated it. I can't remember.
Wasn't that always on like a shelf behind him or something?
Yeah. In
his videos, I feel like
it was. And then finally, they have the repost of the images from Magic, and they ask for better quality ones for the sharing. So they've done that.
Higher res ones.
Yes, so just
cool.
higher res images. That's a nice update. I like that. That warms the old heart.
That is a really nice update. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Is this update 55?
It is
now?
update
April
55.
Report.
Here we go.
Okay. April the 27th. Hello, everyone. Before getting into the main part of the update, we would like to respond to two issues brought up by the community: the Shenmue 3 logo and voice audio options. I remember this was a big deal, wasn't it? This logo.
It was a big deal at the time.
Yeah. So first, for the Shenmue 3 logo, there have been many comments from Shenmue fans wanting the logo to match the original logos from Shenmue 1 and 2. We've heard your calls and will, of course, put it on the to-do list. This particular issue will take some time, however, as game development is currently taking a front seat to other design issues. I mean, design-wise, it doesn't feel like a design thing, does it? It was more like a licensing thing or something with that original logo, I'm sure.
Sega didn't use the original cursive for the re-releases. The S isn't joined up. They changed it, didn't they?
Well, originally they were supposed to like split the S off because apparently kids can't read cursive or something. So they wanted the game name to stand out more. And then, like you say, they made the S even more separate, didn't they, in the re-releases? I just wonder what it is about that, because I would have preferred the cursive logo again for Shenmue 3. And I don't really see it as a design issue, because I feel like fans even had it created and ready to go. And we actually did see it, didn't we, in some updates?
Yeah, we did.
They were actually using it for a period of time, so I don't know if Sega complained about it or something.
I don't know. If you think back to E3 2015, they've got the Shenmue 2 start screen. They've got it Shenmue 3 in that font.
Yeah,
that was right up in E3. Yeah. So I don't know what happened with it.
No, I don't really understand that. It says designers and other parties will also need to be consulted with. So before we can give a more definitive answer, we would ask you to please give us some time. So whether or not someone owned, it says designers and other parties.
Says someone owned it.
So you think someone designed it and owned it, and
possibly.
they were asking for money possibly to reuse it? I don't know. But then they used it, like you say, in that E3 thing. So I don't know whether that was like a mistake and they got told off for doing that. I don't know. Possibly. The second issue receiving a lot of attention concerns the voice audio options. Many people have asked for there to be an option to switch between Japanese and English voicing. We understand how strongly people feel about this feature, and it's something we'd like to include as well, but the inclusion of dual audio option will ultimately come down to budgetary limitations. Whether it will be added or not will need to be decided as development progresses. So that's interesting, because obviously they are going to do a Japanese dub and they are going to do an English dub. So budget-wise, is only really fitting it within the same compilation of the game, right?
Yeah, I know I've said this before. I think Shenmue 4, I think if they need to save money, just go with one dub, and it has to be Japanese, I think. And then And it's not a slur on the English voice actors at all. But I just think if you're going to save money, that's the way to do it. And like a Dragon series did it for years, just Japanese with subtitles, and it was fairly successful. So I don't see why they couldn't. But I get why people wanted the option. I completely understand it.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with Corey already on board,
exactly.
confirmed. It sounded like it was going to happen. So thank you very much for everyone for your input. Please keep contacting us here on Kickstarter with your ideas, comments, and suggestions. And now on to our inside link for April. Manabu Takimoto, environment architecture designer for the Shenmue series and resident in-world character, is now fleshing out all of the different set pieces that will become the backdrop for Shenmue 3. If you missed his profile update during the campaign, the link is here, or catch his interview video below. Is this the same one then, I think?
I think it's a different video. I think. Well, I don't know. We can check it, can't we?
Let's have a quick skim through, because we did watch one of them, and it does say if you missed his profile update during the campaign, the link is here, or catch his interview below. I feel like it might be the one we've seen.
This is the one we've seen.
Yeah. We'll skip that then. Okay, so yeah, we've already seen that then. That was in the part 1 if you want to check that out. But then we've got a brand new photo of him, so let's drop by the office to see what he's up to. And might need to save that and spin it around or tilt my head, but it looks like he's working on Bailu.
It does.
Is it?
Does.
Rio and Shenmue overlooking.
That's the opening scene. It's the opening scene.
Yeah, I think it's the opening scene.
Yeah, that is it. It's the opening scene.
That's the fence.
Over the village.
Rio and Shenmue.
Yeah.
That's cool. He's at the drawing board. I think that's still the same shot. He's there. He's colouring something else, and Yu Suzuki's he's watching him.
Giving it.
So, in a meeting session with Yu, Manabu puts form to the ideas on the spot. So, and then this next one again looks to be the same. It looks like he's drawing quite a lot. So, whether or not he's drawing like a flip book animation kind of a thing, because you can see he's got a sheet on the right there.
Yes. And actually,
and one he's working on, and maybe even a close up on the left.
Yeah.
Looks like Rio close up there. You see that outline of
it does, doesn't it? Yeah, it does.
Maybe that's when they point in. The colouring process here: the soil of Guilin gets tilted, giving the land that lived in feeling.
And actually, you can see there properly. That's the opening cutscene.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. It's impressive.
Interesting that he draws so many of them as well.
In that close to, yeah, it's like he's obviously keep tweaking, changing, whatever. But I like that. And it's again, they obviously stuck very close to the plan with that particular scene, because that's 1 for 1, isn't it?
Pretty much nailed on. And yeah, like here, you see where his pens are at the bottom. That looks like Shenmue.
Yeah, it does.
Possibly. Like a close up, and then obviously in the previous photo that is Rio, I think. So I think that is Rio and Shenmue standing next to each other, just zoomed in. He's done like a zoomed in picture, and then it says, in a matter of hours, a page in the world of Shenmue takes form on the desktop.
Brilliant. That's a nice little update.
So then, a nice update.
We're still into sort of monthly updates at this point. So update 56 is the May update, May 31st, 2016. They're introducing a new member to the Shenmue 3 team, Toshihiko Masada. I hope I haven't butchered his name.
Not too bad, mate.
There we are. So he's worked on the new Batman Superman Adventures, won an Emmy in 1997.
Oh, interesting.
He'll be doing the storyboarding for the cutscenes that will appear in the game, and we have a look at some of the work going on into it. During the storyboard process, what will be in the scenes, how the material is depicted is carefully thought out. Especially important is the depth perception of the shots to provide proper depth cueing and what's perspective they're shot, etc. Another key point will be focused on what will bring out Shenhua's personality, showing her charm, free-spirited nature, and childlike innocence. And then you've got a few little shots down here, sort of what's going on at the time. You've got some very basic storyboarding, QTE on that image, second image there. A bit further down, you've got Yu Suzuki doing some storyboarding as well. You've got some depth, perceptive and camera work unique to the games. And that is it. That is the update. So there's some interesting bits and pieces there as well.
Yeah. I like in that first photo, you can see the little... Did he have like a pink Hello Kitty Dreamcast or something?
Yeah, I think
remember. So. It looks like it's there. That's funny. He must have been playing the original game. And then obviously his little signature Shenmue mug. Right, so update 57 is the first anniversary. Crazy already. It's been a year since the since the first date of the Kickstarter, maybe June the 30th.
Yeah, it must be around that time.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. We are at the 1 year anniversary from the day you all stood up and made Shenmue 3 a reality. So, to mark the occasion, Yu-san wanted to take this opportunity to look back at the project thus far. Thank you for the wonderful first year. We've got a video here, Matt.
Yeah, ready when you are.
So, 3, 2, 1, go. Got the WiseNet logo.
Only a minute long. And I can make it full screen here.
That's good. I'll let you do that then in the post. There he is. It's already been a year since the Kickstarter. Your cheers at the Sony announcement still ring in my ears. Since then, we've been gradually bringing on new project members. Here you go, this is the original Shenmue's house, isn't it?
Yeah.
Late last year, we began using Shenmue 2 characters to do simple battle and conversation tests on Unreal 4. With our key developers on board, the prototype build started in January. It looks gorgeous there, to be honest.
It does, doesn't it? It looks really cool.
It's been 6 months since the project has really taken off. Battles and facial expressions are coming together and cheers from the crew are growing. It makes me feel it will turn out to be a good game. From all of us here, we ask you again to please keep up your support. And I don't know if you noticed his whiteboard, Matt, but that was, he had like a drawing of one of the Tulu buildings.
He did. Again, Tulu's everywhere. Damn it.
Yeah. I was looking at them in a law stream.
I know.
A while back.
Crazy, isn't it, that they were there?
Yeah. And then we just got a survey outlet. We've been receiving a lot of questions about surveys lately, so here is where we stand now. Surveys have not been sent. Date for the surveys has not been decided and is still a ways off. Because this is an important part of the backer process, an official announcement will be made on the Kickstarter update page and in the news section. Yeah, so... last little bit at the bottom. On the survey, you will confirm all your reward details, platform choice, t-shirt size, etc., and shipping information.
Very
Still
good.
a ways off that, though, aren't we?
Yeah,
I think a year on.
Long way off of that. And they were talking about surveys in 2015, and clearly they weren't close at that point. But obviously things changed, don't they? With the project and things got. Okay, so coming on to update 58 now, July 29th, 2016. Keiji Okayasu returns for Shenmue 3. Hello everyone, taking a look at the end credits of Shenmue, you may have noticed this man's name. He was the game director for Shenmue 1 and then played a big role through most of Shenmue 2 and has joined the production team for Shenmue 3. Is he in the credits? That's a good question.
Let's have a quick look. Keiji,
so Keiji.
He is second director.
Okay, so he was one of the original
development
people
team
there. Interesting. We're very happy to have this Shenmue veteran back, who helped deliver the goods first time around. Looking forward to having him do it again. So this month, we'd like to give an interview with Keiji to get to know him a little bit more about him, what he hopes to accomplish as the director for Shenmue 3. Again, this is a funny video that you have to enlarge as we go.
Yeah. So 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, I am Keiji Okayasu, president of the development company Studio Fake. I was a sub-director on Shenmue 1 and 2. Yu Suzuki is of course the main director, but he came to me and asked if I would take up again as a sub-director. The same position I had for Shenmue 1 and 2. Shenmue stories. I was right there from the beginning when Shenmue was still Virtua Fighter RPG for the Sega Saturn. So I was involved with Shenmue even from that early stage. On Shenmue 2 I ended up not staying to completion. At the time I really wanted to get Studio Fake up and running. So I had a talk with Yu-san about leaving. But by then I think we were about 70% done. Rembug there. So I have a pretty big chunk too under my belt. What I really remember about that time, and that has stayed with me since, was the immense difficulty I had understanding what Yu-san was trying to do. and trying to wrap my head around what he was trying to make. Well, the thing was, he was trying to make something that had never been made before. The other thing that really struck with me was Yu-san saying how he wanted it to be the legitimate evolution of the RPG. Back then, the RPG was a hit genre, so the format already had all the trappings and contrivances that made the genre what it was. But Yu-san was very against all that, saying it did not have to be that way. And he wondered if gamers and everyone else too were really along with it. He really hit home the point that in the real world there's stuff that just doesn't happen, so I knew making all the different pieces to get it to work would be a tremendous task. But in the end, what came out of that was an epoch-making title that became the basis for the open world style that is everywhere today. Thinking about how Yu-san was set on making that happen back then, it's clear to me that he is someone who really aims to be in front of the times. About Yu Suzuki. He really tries to see things from the player's perspective. And by that I do not mean the hardcore types, but rather he is always thinking about the what ifs of someone who hasn't touched the game before. That means there are a lot of things that gamers and game creators take for granted that do not fly with Yu Suzuki. He will say, why can't we just do it like that? Or a non-gamer would not think that way. It was often he spoke against convention like that. And that thinking has led him to put out hit after hit. I would say that is the root of it, for better or worse, that is his genius. But for certain he is a person who never takes the easy road. A message for the fans. Shenmue 3 is underway and I have just recently joined the team. I thought I would be another fan waiting excitedly for the release. But as it is, I get to again want to be part of the team. Of course I want to help finish the game and do it so the fans will be satisfied. That means making it interesting for everyone who played 1 and 2. And everyone who will be experiencing Shenmue for the first time. What I personally want to stress for my part is what makes Shenmue Shenmue. The game has an utterly unique atmosphere and I want that to all be breathed in. As you play along you feel the ambience, the milieu from place to place, getting that full sensory experience. It is about that natural atmosphere as best as I can call it because Shenmue is a game where that is so important. With Shenmue 3 that aspect will not be disregarded and I will keep it alive and well as we continue development. I hope you will all keep your expectations high. Thank you very much. Whew. That was hard to keep up.
Big update, that
places.
one, isn't it?
Big update, yeah. I was trying to also look behind the camera as well to see if I could see any.
I was having a look. You didn't get much, did you?
No, there was a bit with Shenmue and there was like a yellow box or something, but I couldn't really have a proper look at that. He says, we will see you all next month, and as always, if you have any questions or comments, please send us a message.
There we go. Okay, so we then come into update 59 from the dev room, and we've got another short video here. This is August 31st, 2016. Hello, everybody. The August development report comes straight from the Shenmue 3 dev room, where we are hard at work doing the nitty-gritty of putting the game together. So come on in and let us show you what we are doing. So again, it's one of these fun videos.
Okay. I've made it full screen, so I'm ready to go.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Yep. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, it's not playing. No, it is. Hello, today we're reporting from the Shenmue 3 dev room. Development report volume 1. Did quite a few of these, didn't they?
Got the rocks, got house.
What's happening? Rocks, house,
sort of
jumping.
testing for the rock jumping.
Yeah. What are you doing? Hello, what are you working on? Hello, I'm making an event scene for use for one of the QTEs. We've got the movie in the back there and the...
I like on his desk he's got like the
soundtrack.
Shenmue soundtrack and the DVD.
Yeah. So can you show us? Sure, I'll start from the beginning.
It's the rock scene.
Oh, right, this scene.
Shenmue 2. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the River Jump QT event in Shenmue 2. We thought to recreate this event for Shenmue 3. So here we're making the part where Ryo jumps the rocks. Interesting that we're doing this, right? The talk with Yusan coming up and we're thinking to make the camera angle look cooler. I see. What are you doing? Hello, hello. What are you working on right now? I'm testing one of the event scenes. It's a scene on a cliff. I'll play the scene from here.
Oh,
Is this where a boulder falls down or something? Yeah. So did this make it into that Niawu bit, possibly, a little bit? Where the barrels are falling down. He says I'm doing different tests like running in slow motion. But yeah, that didn't happen. That's us from the dev room for now, bye bye. There was something about a bear as well, right?
They got some Dreamcasts in that room as well.
Dreamcasts. But yeah, I remember someone saying something about a bear. Like a QT with a bear.
They like
is that in an update or possibly
going off down the Like a Dragon routes? I see. And then it's thank you for your continued support, and please keep sending in your questions and comments. There's some interesting stuff there, isn't there? You see like the rocks, the rock jumping scene, how that was all being put together, and then like that rock falling. Seeing Dreamcast in the office, clearly they were playing the originals as well to get some idea of what they were doing.
I don't know if what they were creating there was like a proof of concept or they were actually planning on putting that in the game at some point.
I don't know. They never really talked about it, did they?
No. But yeah, that brings us to what's going to be the last update for this particular episode. We've reached update 60. I think they said last time they should start getting a bit quicker, but we have only done 30 again in a 3-hour podcast here. But I think after this, they are going to really start getting quick. We'll have some shorter ones, and we might be able to nail through the next ones in a part 3, perhaps. I don't know.
See how we go.
We'll see how we go. Anyway, this is update 60 dinner in Japan reward report. So this must have happened. We've got some nice photos here of the Japanese dinner.
Yes.
This was posted September the 29th, 2016. It says, greetings everyone. The 16th of September was the dinner with Yu Suzuki in Tokyo reward day. So was it like a TGS or something? I feel like
it might have been, or very close to.
And we wanted to share how the day went. So Shenmue 3 backers from around the world came to Japan for the event that would be a day filled with Japanese and Chinese culture in the historical centres of Kamakura and Chinatown in Yokohama. So Yusan was there to conduct the tour and, of course, talk Shenmue. It would be great, one day to get Peter on the show again and just get him to sort of recite this day.
I think it'd be interesting. Obviously, there might be things he can't talk about, but I'd love to sort of get a blow-by-blow account of it.
Yeah, how he experienced it. I mean, you do see some of it in the documentary as well, don't you? The Adam Scipione documentary where they're on Debuta Street and stuff. Searching around the hotel lobby where everyone was meeting up, who do we find but someone with Shenmue tattooed on their arm in Japanese? That's Peter. From the first, we were already beside ourselves with how deeply their love for Shenmue ran. And you can also see the sword handguard, Hazuki family crest on Adam Scipione's arm.
On Adam, yeah.
There's Matthew Kilpatrick, I think, in the second photo.
Yes.
And then a group shot, third one down. You can actually see Joe Kitchen. Oh, and George.
You've got Joe. So I think they're going to tell me off, but I think you've got Joe to the left, then Matt, then Peter, George. I'm not sure who the guy in the glasses is at the back,
I think it's
or the
Developer,
guy just
maybe
in front of him. Yeah, Adam Scipione, Yu Suzuki, Matt's partner, and the other guy at the bottom left. I'm not sure who that is.
Unless, did I not just see him on an update video? Is that possibly? It could be a fan, I suppose. But I thought there was like 2 pairings, right? Or 3 pairings.
Yeah.
So that's Joe and George. Oh, maybe it's the guy that went with Matthew then. Oh no, because he went with his partner, didn't he? So
He went with his partner.
Adam and Peter. So yeah, it must just be a dev possibly at the front there.
Yeah, possibly.
After the meeting and greeting, the first stop was the ancient city of Kamakura. Along the heritage-rich streets lay Komachi Dori, where everyone took in the atmosphere of the local vendors while making their way to Surugayuka Hachimangu, the most prominent and important shrine in the region. Perhaps the scene may conjure up some Dobuita memories. The great Buddha.
Got a group photo again.
Yeah, nice big Buddha in the background. And then we're on a bus, possibly, like the tour bus. And Yu Suzuki showing off some Shenmue 3 footage, I think.
With his laptop. Peter looks quite
Peter's,
impressed.
Yeah, there's his cum face. That second shot there. Having experienced the best of old world Japan, it was on to Chinatown. Yusan livened the ride over bringing up everyone's favourite topic of conversation. I'm guessing Shenmue.
Yeah.
Some cool... Is this Chinatown, is it?
Yeah, some really cool images here.
Nice photos. Yusan talks Shenmue and Chinese culture as they stroll through Japan's largest Chinatown. And then they're in a Chinese restaurant in this bottom one. Days topped off with a Chinese roundtable dinner. The Shenmue talk heats up as Yusan listens intently to everyone's ideas. And I think you can just see on the table are those Miyawaki drawings.
Yes,
that they,
you can.
Did they play? I think they're actually doing it here, rock, paper, scissors for.
Yeah,
and I think Peter actually said he won, and he picked, obviously, the Rio shot.
That's really cool.
So he's actually, looks like he's beating George there. Scissors beat paper. The day spent with the group was a reaffirmation in the Wellspringer devotion we are so proud to share, and it pitched up the fighting spirit of all on the development team. It was a great opportunity that came out of the crowdfunding Do It Together experience, and for that we give thanks. So the push forward continues, and we ask again for your continued support that we may put Shenmue 3 in your hands.
And that is a perfect update to end on, I think.
Definitely. Yeah, lovely update there. Just shows the fan passion there, getting together, meeting, the idol, Yu Suzuki, having what looks to be an absolutely amazing day. I wish one of those people were me.
Yeah, so do
it just
I.
looks like it would have been an incredible experience. But yeah, great stuff. Great photos as well. Great way to wrap this part 2 episode up, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a bumper ride again, 3 hours again.
I know,
I promise you, they do get quicker. I'm having a look at some of the updates ahead, and they are much quicker with some shorter videos and bits and pieces. So it is.
Yeah, it just does, another 74 to go.
Just speed up. Yeah, we might be able to do 74 in an episode.
We might do, mate, if they're like really short and snappy.
So we'll see how we go there. But it's been good fun going through all of those again. Actually. Again, some reminders of things gone by that I'd completely forgotten about, quite frankly.
I'm still hung up on that image of Alder, and the Dreamcast footage.
So am I. Like that I forgot about that, all about that. So
I feel like I've never seen that in my life, mate, but it's probably just because at the time you don't know what you're looking at. It's just sort of just glossing over stuff, and it's just like, it's just a in development screenshot. I don't know who the person is. It means nothing. But now, after playing the game, it's like, what? Where did that come from?
Like,
where was that all these years?
It does beg the question that I think they had more kicking around from the Dreamcast days, but obviously we do. Yeah,
we'll never know. I don't think.
Unfortunately, not unless we break into Sega and hope they haven't lost everything, because
they've got 3 discs, one labeled Saturn Build Shenmue, one labeled Meow Village, and one labeled Shenmue 3 Dreamcast or something.
Yeah, I do.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, why not?
I do.
Just on a pedestal.
Yeah, for me to steal. Brilliant.
All right, cool. So thanks for listening again, guys. That was another wild ride. We're going to have to do a part 3 sometime soon. Hopefully before the year is over.
Yeah,
I'd like to get this updates sort of a series wrapped up by the end of the year. Of course, we're going to be doing a Christmas special again, But we'll try and squeeze one in between now and then, or unless that could be the Christmas special, I suppose. Looking
We'll
for
see.
Kickstarter updates again a little bit, try and get to the end of them. We'll see. But yeah, that's been a great show again, Matt. Great job there. If you want to do your spiel, like you typically do at the end of the shows here, Matt, where can people find us? And
I should soundbite this, really, shouldn't I?
You should do.
Just replay it.
Copy and paste it. That'd be nice and easy, that would.
Easy, wouldn't it? Nice, easy minute done out of a 3-hour show. Right, so where can you find us, everybody? Well, unless you've been living under a rock, you should know where to find us by now. But if you've only just come across us for the very first time, thank you for joining us, and thank you everybody for dropping in on the content. James and I do appreciate it. We can be found on Twitter, or X as it's called now, Shenmue_Dojo, Instagram, Shenmue Dojo, Facebook, Shenmue Dojo, Twitch, Shenmue Dojo. We're also on some of the more unknown websites like Blue Sky, Mastodon, and Spout Social. So Shenmue Dojo again on all of those. But just because we like to vary things up a little bit, we are on YouTube under Shenmue Dojo VOD. That is Shenmue Dojo VOD. I don't know why. Videos on demand. But that's it. We thought we'd do something different. We are everywhere and anywhere. Also, don't forget the forums, and don't forget shenmuedojo.com for all your Shenmue needs, forums, images, history, and everything else in between. You can find it all there.
Perfect, Matt, perfect. And can you take us out with your final piece of music, Shenmue 3? What did you pick?
I can indeed. Now, this is from Shenmue 3. It is played, it's called Hermit's Nest, but don't think it's actually played in Hermit's Nest, but it's a great little in-game track all the same. It's quite a soothing track to bring us out from a nice 3-hour show. So enjoy, guys.
And cheers for all of your support. Cheers, guys. Take care.
Take it easy, guys. Have a good one.
Look at the time.